This is not good. This is not good. I'm not happy. I am not happy, man. I knew it. I felt it coming from the last press conference. I had a feeling it was going to turn ugly, and it turned ugly. It turned ugly. And this is what I'm saying, like, because now something has to happen. There's no way this can keep going the way it's going. There's just absolutely no way. What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me again. I'm just trying to get the chat set up here, so bear with me a second. But I'm sure we're gonna breeze through this because now I'm getting better and better at this. But guys, this is not good, and I knew it, and I told everyone that it's turning ugly. I told you guys it was turning ugly a while ago. And then I was on Andy's stream a couple days ago saying that I don't think this is gonna work out, man. Like, I think his days are numbered. And after the comments that we saw in that press conference today, someone has to be sacked. There is no turning back. It's gone too far. You can tell there's a discontent. There's a feeling of disrespect when a manager is coming out and saying, I am the manager of Manchester United. I am not here just to coach the team. I'm here to manage. And that the scouting department and the technical department needs to do their jobs. I'm not even doing it justice. It was a lot more fierce than that. You know that there's been some disrespectful talks behind the scenes. Now, I know that I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, but come on, man, you don't come out in public and speak like that, and you say it with your chest like that unless something happened behind the scenes. And now that it's out in the public, someone has to do something about it. The board has to do something about it. And I feel that Ruben Amorim would be out of a job if he had lost that game against Leeds. I feel like his days are numbered. And as long as he's winning or drawing or whatever, they probably can't get him out. But as soon as he loses a game, I feel like they're going to get him out. And look, some people think that maybe they're going to get rid of the technical director or the scouting director, Christopher Vivell or Jason Wilcox. I just don't see it that way. I'm just not used to seeing it that way. I'm used to seeing that when you have a go at the higher ups, you're the one who goes. The manager is the one who goes, because you got to remember, like, Jason Wilcox is one of the people who chose Ruben Amorim. So he's kind of, I don't want to say his boss, but he is in a ways, he is certainly his boss. I have a feeling that if someone had to go, if it was Wilcox or Amorim, it'd be Amorim that has to go. And guys, there's a lot of people who are okay with that, right? Because they wanted Amorim out. But what you got to remember is whether you want Amorim out or not, this isn't the way to do it. This isn't the way to go about it. And this shouldn't be the thing that happens in our club, which leads to a manager being sacked. Because this is the exact same thing with different personalities and different characters and different people that happened to Ralph Rangnick. They ran him out the club too because he wanted to make changes that have to do with building the squad the right way. So even if you don't like the man's playing style, if you don't like the way his formation sets up, if you don't like his tactics, first I would say that you probably don't understand all his tactics, but that's neither here nor there. If you don't like anything about him, even if you do understand his tactics and you don't like it, this is a man who wants better recruitment and he wants a true rebuild of the squad. He sees positions that are very much lacking. This is a guy who's going to a game away at Leeds with teenagers on the bench that he can't really put in a game like that. If you guys watch the game, that game was super high pace, super intense. You can't put in Fletcher or any of the kids that were on the bench in that game. I wasn't surprised that he didn't make any substitutions. Even though before that game he had played some of these kids, I was not surprised that he was not going to put in the kids, because that game was at an extremely high pace and very physical. And I didn't think the kids would be able to. I think we would have got run over at any position that one of the kids would have come in on. That would have been our weakness in our group. Guys, it was one of those games where you just needed the people who are going to be there physically to battle and run. And this man is basically pulling a Ralph Rangnick in his own way. He's not English isn't his first language, and Ralph has a way of Ralph's older, more mature, let's say. So he has a way of saying it in the open heart surgery way that he said it. This is a man who basically said the technical director and the scouting director need to do their jobs, and I will do my job. Why did he call out the two people in charge of recruitment? Those are the two people who are in charge of building a squad and recruitment. He's basically telling you the exact same thing Ralph Rangnick did. It's the exact same thing. This squad's not built. They're asking for miracles with a squad that can't perform them. They want European spots guaranteed with this squad. The only reason we're in 5th place, 6th place, wherever the hell we are, and we're so close to the top 4 right now is because all the teams are underperforming, and we keep getting lucky that they're underperforming. Yo, by the way, out of all the teams that are underperforming, our guy, our manager, has the weakest team. Liverpool's underperforming, and you can't tell me their squad's not better than ours. If you think their squad's not better than ours, you need to stop watching football. Like, you need to stop watching football. I don't know how it's too late for you. Like, you're gone. You're far past it. You don't understand the game. You don't understand what a squad or a player is supposed to look like. If you're telling me that Chelsea's squad's not better than ours, even though they don't really know how to build a squad, they have a better squad than ours. Let's be real. So out of all the teams that are underperforming, we have the worst squad. So he's doing okay with what he's got. And he's got a lot of draws. I wish we had more wins and less draws. I think we could have squeezed out some more wins. But obviously, just like today, you had an 18-year-old center back. I think he's 18. If I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. Aiden Heaven is not 20 yet. He's either 18 or 19. You have an 18-year-old center back who was just out of position for less than a second, and he got punished for it. And that's what's going to happen when you play these kids. And I just don't understand how this is going to work out. I want to go through some things. I want to talk about a lot more. I got some notes. I want to talk about some things I want to bring up before I have people join me on the show. The link is in the description, but I'm not going to let you in for a while, so don't hop on just yet. But let's talk about it. And while we do that, or before we do that, I just want to bring everybody into my headspace one more time. So we're going to take 30 seconds, and we're going to listen to what Ruben had to say in that press conference, and then I'll be right back. So I'm going to play the important part of what I think he had to say in that press conference, and we're going to come right back and talk about it, because I want you to hear the energy. Look in his eyes, hear the energy, and listen to the words he's saying and how he's saying it.
I just want to say that I'm going to be the manager of this team, not just the coach. And I was really clear on that. And that is going to finish in 18 months. And then everyone is going to move on. That was the deal. That is my job, not to be a coach. If people cannot handle the Gary Nevilles and the criticisms of everything, we need to change the club. And every department, the scouting department, the sport director needs to do their job. I will do mine for 18 months, and then we move on.
That's what I'm talking about. The guy straight up says every department, the scouting department, everyone needs to do their job. And then in 18 months, I will move on, because I don't think he thinks he's getting any kind of contract extension. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to make it 18 months. Like I said, I have a feeling they're going to have a meeting tomorrow. Okay. Whether we hear about it or not, there's going to be some meetings going on after that. And they're going to decide that they have to wait for him to lose a game or have one bad performance, and then he's gone. I really think it's going to go that way, man. And unfortunately, I just can't take the club seriously. I just can't take the club seriously, man. So, and again, there's a lot of people that are happy. There's a lot of people who've been messaging me. There's people in this chat. There's people in this chat that are happy that Amorim is going to be out. But you're missing the point. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. If you're in this chat and you want Amorim out, cool, man. You're entitled to your opinion. But listen to what I'm about to say, and then let me know in the chat what you think of what I'm saying when it comes to what happens next. Okay? So, number one, we've done this in the past. We've overpromised to managers that we're going to take care of them, that we're going to build squads for them, and then we don't end up building squads. If you didn't see my video just from like 4 days ago, I posted a video about our whole history with the managers. I went every summer since Ferguson retired and what we did. I did a brief, in summary. The whole video is only like 12 minutes long. So go watch that video if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to go through it again right now. But we made promises to David Moyes, made promises to Louis van Gaal. Mourinho definitely needed pieces. We might not have made promises to Mourinho, but he definitely asked for pieces that he didn't get. And we made him play with players that he wanted to sell. That's important too. It's not only important that you get the manager pieces that he wants, but it's also important that you move on players that he wants to move on. We messed Mourinho up with that. Ralf Rangnick told you that we don't have any pace, we don't have physicality, we don't have athletes. From Ralf Rangnick's days, man. You know how many summers have gone by since Ralf Rangnick's days, and we still have a midfield physicality problem? And I don't even want to say a midfield physicality problem, because just last season, Ruben Amorim was telling you we had physicality problems across the board. From Ralf Rangnick's days till now, we didn't fix the damn physicality problem, which, by the way, Ruben and the recruitment that they did last summer was headed towards fixing. We just didn't do enough. So, we've got a history of broken promises. And if you don't think these managers and their agents know this, you're out of your mind. Tuchel turned us down. Roberto De Zerbi says he turned us down last summer before we signed Ruben Amorim. We've been getting turned down by managers because of our history, because of our people just know we're exposed. We don't help managers. We help them for the first summer and then we let them down. That's what we do. Except for David Moyes. He didn't even get a summer. He didn't get anything. That poor man got nothing. He got Fellaini and that was it. Because I'm pretty sure they thought, well, this is a title-winning team. We don't need to make additions to it, which is a bad way, a wrong way to think. You always have to strengthen. So managers have turned us down just before this because of our reputation of how we treat managers. And now we're going to do it again. So publicly to a man, whether you like him or not, and you want him out, to a man that is actually liked out in public. People like the man. They think of him as honest. I don't care what you think of him. You got to think about the public perception. And you got to think about the perception in that world, in the football world. Managers, other agents of managers, they all think of Ruben Amorim as an honest, good guy. And if he's fuming and he's talking like this about the people he's working with, they all have to protect themselves. So the next time we go for a manager after we sack him, if we sack him, we're not going to hear a lot of yeses. And then when we hear yeses, there's going to be stipulations attached. So we're sacking a manager for not backing him. What do you think the next manager is going to? The next manager is going to want a veto, right? Just like Erik ten Hag. Remember how Erik ten Hag came in and he said, I want a veto? If the next manager doesn't ask for a veto, then he's a no-name manager who's like just happy to get the job. And let me tell you something about our recruitment policy. Something I have kept to myself and haven't said out loud, but I'm going to say it out loud here because I'm kind of fed up. We have this recruitment policy where we stated that we only want to bring in players that want to play for Manchester United. Number one, that's silly. That's absolutely silly. You bring in players that are good, that work hard, that are hungry, and then if they're open to play at any club that shows them that they value him, that's fine. You're not going to just live and die by choosing players that only want to play for Manchester United, because that crop of players is going to get smaller and smaller as time goes on without us playing in the Champions League and without us challenging for titles. That crop of players is already smaller today than it was 10 years ago. That crop's only going to get smaller and shrink more. So that's a BS policy, very well worded so that it's easy for ownership to hide behind and tell fans he didn't want to play for Manchester United. He doesn't understand what it's like to wear our shirt and our badge. Maybe the dude just wanted to play where he's valued most. Maybe the dude wanted to play for a manager he likes. Maybe the dude wanted to play where he just feels more special. That's a BS policy. I hate hearing it. I don't want to hear it because it has nothing to do with business. It works sometimes. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a really good player who wants to play for Manchester United. That's fine. But most of the time, unless your name is Real Madrid and Barcelona and you have perfect weather year round, you have to compete and show that you value the player. More importantly, though, the thing I really want to discuss is the manager market right now. The manager market right now isn't that good. It's not like it was like 3 or 4 seasons ago. And one of the best young managers out there, Farioli, already worked for Ineos at Nice. So he already knows what they're about, and he's not going to want to come. So we're not even going to try to get Farioli. The only person I think we might try to go get is Glasner, who plays the same system and would have the same shortages in our squad. Now, are you going to ask Glasner to change his style and play a 4-back system too? Because he used to play it back in the wherever the hell he came from. Guys, the other thing is it's you dropped the ball when you go and recruit Ruben Amorim. You said you did your studies. You thought this was the guy to help you with the rebuild. You knew what he was about. You knew what formation he wanted to run. So you knew what you needed to plan for. And then asked the guy to change his system because you didn't provide him the players he needed. The players you provided, he uses. You provided him Mbumo, Šeško, Cunha, and Lamens. He uses all 4. He needed more than 4. So it's not like you're buying him players and he's putting them on the bench. And let's be real, not all those players were his choices. I'm pretty sure he didn't choose Lamens because nobody knew who Lamens was. We're happy we got him. That was good recruitment. But he didn't choose Lamens. Šeško was definitely not his choice. And there's been stories coming out that after we didn't get Gyökeres that he wanted the Aston Villa striker. I lost his name. The Aston Villa striker is who he wanted, and we ended up getting him Šeško. And he is using Šeško, to be fair. Ollie Watkins, that's the name I was looking for. So it's not like this manager is just, you're spending money buying players he doesn't want, and then he just throws them on the bench. He's actually playing the players you buy him, even if he didn't choose them. And that's another reason why his quote of saying the recruitment department, the technical department need to go do their jobs. Everybody needs to do their job because he's not saying you got to get what I want or else I'm not going to play him. He's just saying, this is what I need. Your job is to find the player. Go find the player and I'll play him if he's good. Who would take this job? Like, who would take this job? Which good manager would come in and say, I want to work for Manchester United? I just don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I can't think of somebody who's good who'd want to do it. And if they do come in, you better believe that contract's going to be long and it's going to have stipulations. I get to choose at least 2 players every summer or every window. If I need a player and I give you 60 days notice that I want to sell a player, you got to sell this player. And it's going to have all kinds, veto rights. It's going to have some of the things I just said are probably BS and couldn't be in a contract. But what I'm saying is they're going to try to have as much power as possible in their contract or they're not coming. Why would they? Why would they? The only reason why they would is because you're going to pay him double the salary he would get somewhere else, which is exactly the same thing we're saying we don't want to do with players. We don't want to overpay for players, but now we're going to have to overpay for managers or give them a ton of power. It doesn't work. This doesn't work. Especially because I'm telling you right now, my gut feeling is it's broken promises. My gut feeling is this manager isn't childish enough to talk like this if he wasn't told one thing and then asked to do another thing. If he wasn't being told right now, somebody must have reminded him that you're a head coach. The way he talked, how defensive he was over what his job is, sounded to me like someone told him, change your system, and he argued, and then someone said, you're the head coach, I'm your boss, I'm telling you to do that, and that's what you do, because you work for me. It feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like someone told him, you're a head coach. And he felt so insulted by it that he needed to bring it out in public and say that I'm not a head coach. I can't think of a whole lot of scenarios why he would say that statement. I can't think of a whole lot of scenarios unless they asked him to change his playing style again and reminded him of what his position is, or told him that you signed a contract saying you're a head coach. And he's the type of person that wouldn't really read a contract as heavily as I think. I think he's the type of person that, like, my word is my bond type of person, where I'm coming in to be manager and that's what we agreed. Whether that's on paper or not, I just don't think that's Amorim's more like he seems to me like more like that's not the words you guys said to me. I thought we were in this together. I thought we agreed we need to rebuild the team. I thought we agreed this is the playing style that I play, that you guys hired me to play. I'm sure there were extensive meetings where he had to talk about his playing style before they hired him. I'm sure they got the whole rundown of what he wants to do with the squad before they hired him. Now, don't get me wrong. They probably didn't know how crap our squad was. They probably didn't know how bad some of our bad apples were, that they needed to get rid of guys like Garnacho and stuff like that because they didn't think they were such bad apples. But that's not the manager's fault. That's not Ruben's fault. And then the other thing is, when you tell a man 2 weeks ago that we have the money to get Semenyo, and then you tell him, well, we didn't get Semenyo, so we're getting nobody. Surely that doesn't sit well with a manager. That would piss anybody off who's missing 5 tools. If I have a job to do and I'm missing 5 tools and you said, I'm going to buy you that one tool. I can't afford to buy you 5 tools, but I can afford to buy you that one tool that's missing from your toolbox that's going to help you get, have an easier time getting the job done. And then that one tool is sold out at the store we're going to go buy it from. That one tool is not available right now. Surely you could use that same money to buy me one of the other 4 tools. This is not rocket science. And the fact that the Amorim outers are happy doesn't make any sense. Like, if you want Amorim out, you should want him out because he loses 3 or 4 games in a row, and then they get him out. Because then it's on merit a lot more than this. This is on him opening his mouth. This is the same as getting rid of Ralph Rangnick for opening his mouth. This is not right. This is not right. This is not how I want to lose a manager. Even I would hold my hands up and be like, I think it's time for Amorim to go if he would have lost 5 out of the next 8 games. Even I would be like, I totally understand if they let him go. This is really wrong. This is really wrong. I don't even know how to. This is not. I'm so. Sometimes I hate myself for loving this club. I hate myself for loving this club. You know what it is though? And then I remember it's not that I hate myself. It's I hate these owners sometimes. Because every time we seem to turn a corner and you start to think that this is maybe they're doing the right thing, it's inevitable that you start to feel like this again. Guys, the lines are open. If you come in, click on the link. If you want to come in and say your piece, but please have a camera on, and have a good sound. Like, if you don't have good sound, you'll say your piece, but I'll probably have to let you go sooner rather than later. But the lines are open. I can't vent by myself this whole time, but I'm going to start reading the chats. Honestly, I haven't been reading the chat because that's how much I needed to get off my chest, man. By the way, the address for the line is in the description, probably all the way at the bottom. Sean says something fundamentally is wrong here. Yeah. Yes, something is definitely wrong. I don't know what it is, and someone's going to have to get sacked for it, Sean. I don't see how, as a corporation, as a company, especially an billion-dollar company with such a public brand, can let this sit idly by without somebody getting the sack for it. These people are showing that they can't work together, that there's obvious issues, and you can't send them to family counseling and have a therapist sit with them and and ask Ruben to voice his concerns to Vivell and Jason Wilcox while they have to sit there and listen, and then vice versa, where Ruben has to sit there and Jason Wilcox goes, but I don't understand why you don't listen to me when I want you to play 4 at the back. I feel like you don't value my footballing opinions, Ruben. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe said, I have the best eye in football. My eyes are the best in football. By the way, Sir Jim Ratcliffe also said that Dan Ashworth was like, what did he call him? Like a top 5 or a top 10 technical director, sporting director, and we're lucky that he wants to come work for us. That's what he said about Dan Ashworth. And then I don't know how long later he sacked him. And this is the guy who's now saying Jason Wilcox has the best eyes in football. Well, if he has the best eyes in football, I'll hold my hands up and I'll tell you this. My eyes are like not even close to good in football. They're not. I consider my eyes like the average fan who pays a lot of attention. And I'm telling you, before Ruben joined our club, I already knew what he wanted to do and how he wanted to play. I made videos about it. A lot of you guys watched it. That's why you're here. You respect my eyes. Thank you. You respect my eyes, but I'm telling you right now, they're average eyes that just pay attention. They're nowhere near the best eyes in football. So if the best eyes in football couldn't tell that the squad needed a whole rebuild and a lot of money, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're not good at your job and your eyes suck. Tokyo Musing came in with a super chat. Baleba, 100 million last summer, 100 million now, still 100 million next year, and they'll buy him then when they could have bought him today. Owners out. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised. Isn't that what we did with Jadon Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, and anybody else? Didn't we just delay buying people and then didn't we do that with Anthony? Just delay. We didn't do it over years, but we did it over a window and then we end up overpaying. This is supposed to be different. Ineos is supposed to be different, I thought. Right? Am I crazy? Man, every way I look at it, any way I think about it, I just keep thinking like, you know what would be shocking? You know what would actually make me wake up happy tomorrow? And I hope everybody here who is not Amorim out. What would be shocking? What would be different? Is if we wake up tomorrow and find out Vivell got sacked. If we wake up tomorrow or the next day and we find out Ruben has the backing of the ownership, Vivell is sacked. Because he's the scout. He's supposed to solve these problems. I don't even know if it's a Wilcox problem. I want to hope that it's not a Wilcox problem. I want to hope that if one of the 3 is a problem, I want to hope that it's Vivell, not Wilcox, because Wilcox is in charge of the footballing department. It's important to me that he's not the problem. And then not Ruben. It's important to me that Ruben's not the problem because I can't help it. I like the guy. I want him to have a chance at showing what his football can actually do with a squad that's built properly. So I'm hoping Vivell's the problem because I don't really care about Vivell. I have nothing to gain with Vivell. So far, all he's done is recommend Red Bull players. I haven't seen him bring in anyone new out of nowhere. Every transfer I've heard Vivell be involved in are like Sheshko, Sekou Kone, Jan Diomande, just Red Bull players. It's a lot like Erik ten Hag did with Ajax. It doesn't take a genius. And by the way, like I need to do more research, but I heard Vivell caused some issues at Chelsea, that he had a loudmouth at Chelsea. I'm not sure though. That's a rumor for now. I haven't backed it up. I haven't done my research, but I know he used to work with Chelsea and he doesn't anymore. And I heard that I heard from someone I trust that he was an issue, but I need to do the research for myself because that someone I trust is just as mad as I am right now. So I can understand if he just emotionally blurted something out that he hasn't really researched. So don't take my word for it, but you can do the research yourself too. All right, let me read some comments, man. I haven't been paying attention to your guys' comments. Amorim needs to show good management, even if the squad isn't good enough. Bro, do you not think that's good management? Like, do you not think getting a 1-1 draw at Ellen Road against Leeds was decent management, considering the fact that he had no subs, and you can't really count Xerxes as a sub because Xerxes wasn't even playing that well for a while. Today he played well. So don't you think that's good management that Ruben basically, I don't know, motivated him to play better or used them the right way to get an assist? Like, what does he have to do to show good? You want him to like win the league with the squad he wants before. Is that what it's going to take for someone to say he's showing good management? Or does he have to play 4 at the back? Actually, that's a good question. Does he have to play 4 at the back for unsatisfied people to say that he's showing good management? Somebody's trying to join the stream, but it says your mic and cam are already in use, bro. So you gotta close your other apps before you come in. But is that what it is? Like, does he have to play 4 at the back? And then that would be a sign of good management? Alex Gamer says, I know everyone is talking about the 3-4-3 formation, but I assure you he wants to play a 4-2-3-1 or something like that because he only wanted to implement his philosophy to the players. That could be true too, because he did say he would evolve and change once everybody understood their philosophy. A's mic and cam are already in use. Whoever's trying to join, Riverside's telling me it won't let you join because your mic and camera are not connecting to Riverside, dude. So you got to close all your apps and try again. Like, close all your apps and try again. A loyal man's mic and cam. Ask them to, everybody who's trying to join is getting that warning, because I'm getting another guy, a loyal man. Your mic and cam aren't connecting to Riverside for some reason, man. Try to close all your apps, bro. Andy's calling me on the phone. Guys, give me 1 second. Let me go talk to Andy. While
I just want to say that I'm going to be the manager of this team, not just the coach. And I was really clear on that. And that is going to finish in 18 months. And then everyone is going to move on. That was the deal. That is my job, not to be a coach. If people cannot handle the Gary Nevilles and the criticisms of everything, we need to change the club. And every department, the scouting department, the sport director needs to do their job. I will do mine for 18 months and then we move on.
Oh man, I couldn't find the phone in time to let it. Oh, there he is. Yo.
What's up,
Andy,
bro?
you there?
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm not good with this club.
No, not at all, man.
Hold on. Let me get my light right, okay? Give me 1
Yeah,
second.
go for it. Go for it. I'm glad Andy's on because I want to ask him what he thinks of some of the things I'm concerned about.
Okay. So Meeks, first of all, shout out. You're live, and I see over 120 people. I don't know. You have the live number, guys. Smash the like button. Meeks is one of the most genuinely concerned and interested stakeholders in the club that I know. And when he says stuff, he means it, right? So let's show our appreciation for him. And I know Ed just joined your members club as well. Shout out Ed. Ed's here as well. I'm here for a short time because I'm actually making a produced video myself. I have some other stuff to get off my chest. Hold on. Freaking Alexa's trying to get in on the action here. But
the cat's never been on my channel. She wants to get in on my channel.
Oh no, trust me, you don't want it. But anyway, so for me, dude, what everybody needs to realize is there need to be some adults in the room, right? Hold on, dude. Alexa's going crazy in my entire house. I need to.
It's a situation. where it's like when your parents are fighting and you already know you're gonna take your dad's side, no matter what. I think that's what the situation is.
That's
because your
actually a really good way to explain it.
because your dad is the one that's always bought you the gifts you wanted, right? And your mom's always been the one to yell at you for doing stupid things, and your dad's been like giving you, dapping you up on the side when you got in a fight. And Amorim is the dad in this situation because
This is some Bosnian settings I'm not aware of, bro.
No, but like think about it. It's
I'm
almost
just
like what if you've caught mom lying before? Do you get what I'm saying? And now you don't know if mom lied to dad, but you kind of have caught her in the past, so now you're like even more on dad's side.
Guys, we have enough baggage to deal with for United. Why are we getting into like
right? There's some people in the chat right now that are like,
it's like your mom met your mom is your dad's best friend's ex-girlfriend. So, and she had a kid with him, and the kid ended up going to jail, right?
Bro, did you grow up on Love Island? Like, what's going on?
I wish I grew up on Love Island.
I'm just okay. So something. Sorry, I was saying.
Yeah.
There need to be some adults that sit down and say, "Listen, we have exposed you way too much to the media. We have exposed you way too much to all the criticism that's out there, and this is just not okay, right?" And whether the club comes out and starts disallowing some, journalists from entering the stage or whatever to ask them questions, whatever it is, right? It needs to happen. A show of solidarity is what's needed. I think if we just start sacking people before somebody tries to amend the situation, then our club is more finished than even I thought. Right? I've had a few hours to reflect. I was live for like more than 6 hours today, like 6.5 hours talking about this shit, including the game. And I just think the best way to guarantee our club becomes even more of a trash can that's on fire on the side of the highway is by sacking Ruben Amorim right now. And to be fair, sacking Vivell, Wilcox, Barada does the same thing to a lower impact, right? It's not going to be as bad if one of those guys gets sacked, but it's going to be still adding fuel to the fire, right? Because everyone's going to banter us as the shit club. And dude, Jamie Carragher's come out and said some wild shit about Ruben Amorim barely being competent enough to be a Premier League manager. He has 3 points less than the guy who won the league last year and spent $450 million, right? With a squad that that has 6 kids on the bench. So there's a lot of shit going on.
Too. Sure, they got one injury.
Yeah, and listen, I want people to realize this is going to be a graphic analogy, but the Amorim outers that are loving the fact that Jamie Carragher's, throwing shit at Ruben Amorim need to realize that they're in the same toilet bowl, not watching from the side, right? Him throwing shit at Ruben Amorim is him throwing shit at all of us. If you're that desperate for Ruben Amorim to be out that you would hear it from a Liverpool supporter who hates the club, who saw his entire career get ruined by our club because he didn't win anything, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you have to question. I'm not trying to do some top red speech here. I'm just like, why do you even follow this club? If all you care about is manager FC, player FC, blah, blah, blah. Like, it makes no sense to me. But that's all I've got to say here.
The line in his press conference where he brought up Gary Neville, and he said, if we're going to worry about what Gary Neville and people like that have to say, then we better change clubs or whatever.
Yeah,
it that line by itself actually speaks a lot, because if you really deep it, that means that it's something that's brought up in their meetings. That means someone in their actual meetings is bringing up Gary Neville's opinion.
Yep.
And that literally makes me want to vomit, because that's like Gary Neville's opinion is what's going to decide how we have a meeting or run a meeting or what agenda we're setting for the future is then you might as well just hire Gary Neville then, if his opinion matters that much. Or one of the guys
and they work with Gary Neville, right, for the stadium and all that. They do have him as part of like a stakeholder that's part of the whole rejuvenation project and all that, because he owns Hotel Football, etc. But yeah, dude, for me, like, listen, we can all sit here and say that the media comments don't matter at all, but we know it's driving engagement, negative engagement in the fan base, right? The club shouldn't be talking about it. Like Vivell, Wilcox, all of these schoolgirls that are having their internal, bitch fight about this problem, they shouldn't be talking about it. But the wider fan base, like Raphael on my channel, he said he's fans out. He's not Ineos out. He's not Glazers out. He said that our fans are the ones that are driving this divide. We're divided, and it's impossible to get towards a shared goal when you're that divided.
I'm gonna say something that so in life you come to a critical mass point in a lot of things where you accept either your loyalty can go two ways. It can go to your integrity and the things you believe in, or it can go to individuals, organizations, or things that you believe that you should give your loyalty to. A little bit of background. I used to be a season ticket holder as a Laker fan, grew up very close. Kobe Bryant was my favorite player. All the things, just everything with regards to very similar analogies with how United are run. Kobe retired. They changed their whole philosophy and they went towards a very, very Laker-like mentality. They brought in players that didn't care for playing for the Lakers. They instituted LeBron, the buses. They were holding on to their shares of the Lakers until they eventually, I saw a team that I could not recognize anymore. I stopped becoming a Lakers fan, and I don't follow basketball anymore. I will reach that point with Manchester United if they sack Ruben Amorim or force him to walk. I will have no allegiance towards the club whatsoever. The team that I supported in the 90s and 2000s and 2010s does not carry relevancy with the mantra, with the goals, and with the history of the club, with what the Glazers have done for the past 15, 20 years, and what this Trojan horses and Ineos have done with their high school drama, musical backroom shuffle. This is just absolutely disgusting. I cannot support this. I cannot support my club being controlled by these losers. I cannot. The standards of this club have fallen, and it's because of the people at the top.
Yeah, and I can't blame you. Shaylin, I know you're out there and you asked in the chat how you get in. It's in the description, bro, all the way at the bottom, though. I hide it at the bottom. I want you guys to read every word I write before you get in.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I had to go to your previous video to find it.
No, it's in the description all the way at the bottom. But you can't always go to my previous video if I forgot to put it there.
It's not in there, by the way.
But one thing, Sean.
Oh, yeah,
ahead,
he's saying it's not in there.
It's not in there.
Oh, it's not in there?
I just had it from like previous
saved
time I joined. Yeah.
That's
Dylan,
what I'm
go
saying.
to one of previous lives actually, because I almost don't want to clutter the screen up too much either. But Shaylin, you're welcome to come in.
Do you want me to populate it to Shaylin? I can send it to him.
Yeah, and then one thing that Sean said that rings so true, guys. Like,
Sorry.
Sean is crazy about Manchester United too. I've known Sean now for a while, and I know how much we get in arguments. Ed and him get in arguments. We all have our own opinions, and that's fine.
All of us, every single one of us here.
Yeah, that's the whole beauty of being a United fan. But no matter what, in the end, we are United fans. Like me and Sean were talking about going to watch a game at Cosm in LA soon, as soon as they have another Manchester United game on. And that's basically, just to let you know, that's like paying a couple $100 each just to watch a game on a big screen. So it's kind of stupid, but that's how much we love the team. Like, dude, I go to preseason games and pay for me and my girlfriend tickets and parking and food and everything, almost $600-700 to go watch them play at SoFi. Like, it's heartbreaking to see the team that I
Bro,
backed.
even bigger than that, you were up at 4 a.m. today to watch that shit.
Yeah.
The
We've all supported the
$500-600 you
club
can make it back. You're not
financially.
going to get your time back.
Time wise, that's the thing. The time investment, and it's I feel like we're being catfished. I feel like we're supporting Manchester United, but what's behind Manchester United is not the Manchester United that we recognize. Those ideals, like, and not even from a playing style, but just the standards. I think that's the biggest thing that we've understood. The standards have become lower and lower and lower, and that is all because we have too many cooks in the kitchen. We have too many people that believe they know the way to get back on top. And we've been talking about Ineos' sporting structure. I'm going straight to Sir Jim. Straight to Sir Jim. All these reports are coming out saying that he has a very low understanding of football as a sport. And if you have a guy that it was reported that he had that bid for Chelsea, and then he came in as the guy who then he's a mank. He loves the club. He supported the club. That doesn't sound like it, man. You can't say your flavor was this and then next week your flavor is that, and then use what's convenient for you to then tap into that type of street credibility. So I think this is another situation of people that are opportunists using the profile of the club for their own means and uses. And in doing so, even worse, we could even look at it and say he doesn't even give a shit about the sporting results. He gives a shit that he got in at a certain valuation and he's probably going to sell at a wash, or at worst, or at a profit. So we're getting to a point where the value of the club has become so large, it's become its own asset class that now billionaires are using. And in terms of legacy building, yeah, it's great if you could build a new stadium. It's great that if you get at Project 2028, but this is all corporate, speak for we have these long-facing goals that are 2-3 years away, and then we figure out we don't know how the hell we're going to get there, so we're just going to readjust those goals along the way. That's what it feels like.
Can I just touch in on how you said, and in the club itself, like deterioration?
I think Ed's camera just
Hello?
took a vacation.
Can I just step in there? I'll wait for Ed to fix his camera and mic there. For me, we got rid of the bomb squad because they were a cancer to the culture of our club, right? They weren't holding acceptable standards for us, right? Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho weren't good enough. They were all idiots. Surely sharing WhatsApp messages and leaking stuff to the press is part of the same goddamn culture that we're trying to fix.
Yeah,
It
100%. 100%. And this is why he's got to go. Whoever leaked that's got to go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. I'm gonna touch on something Sean said. The deteriorating of quality. It hasn't just been on the pitch, but it's been in the backroom staff in general. The club as a whole has deteriorated, not just with the style of play and all that. And we're getting a little glimpse of, we're seeing a little bit of success with still the same business model of not giving the manager what he needs. I think what really hurt us is the whole Ten Hag situation, where we allowed him to make his signings and we were promised this and we were promised that. He came in and had to change the way he plays, because even he didn't get who he wanted. He got a couple players, right?
Yeah.
But I think it stems from the whole quality part of it, because we see teams like Man City just getting better every year, every single year, every window they get better. We have teams like Liverpool who are spending 500 million. Nobody's batting an eye, and they're still going in for players, and they're probably going to get Mark Guehi as well. So everybody
Guys, I
around us
apologize.
is
I have
getting
to dip
better.
out. Ed, see you guys. Everyone, see you guys.
See ya.
See you, man. My fear is basically like, if they sack him, I just don't understand why any reputable manager would want to come in. And if a reputable manager came in, he'd have a bunch of stipulations. He'd want everything. He'd want all the power. So, and then we'd not want to give it to him. So we wouldn't be able to bring him in. Look, we already got turned down. Like I was saying, we already got turned down by the likes of Tuchel, De Zerbi in the past. So who would come in reputable and also not want any veto rights like Erik ten Hag had after watching what just happened to a young, promising manager in Ruben Amorim? And by the way, all these managers and their agents, they understand football better than fans. So they understand looking at the XG and looking at our stats and knowing that actually Ruben was moving in the right direction. And the guy couldn't make it work here.
So it's clear they're gonna bring in a yes man that's not gonna go and question anything. He's just gonna
100%.
come in just to say I managed United, and that's it. That's
Dude,
I think that's
we
what they're
might
gonna
be
look
looking
for.
to get Liam Rosenior or Rosenior, whatever.
Nah,
whatever his name is.
he's going to Chelsea 100%.
No, I know, but I'm saying we might be like the Ineos might be salivating at the thought of somebody that's just gonna say yes to everything.
That's going to be heartbreaking. Ernest, welcome to the show, man. I'll let you have your time now. So go ahead. What's on your mind? Are you one of those that is wants Amorim to go out? And if you do, I actually do want to ask, is this, wait, first, let me find out if you do before I ask.
I am so Amorim in.
I think you're on mute, bro. We can't hear you.
Also, I like that he
Can
has
you hear
his
me now?
full passport name on his screen. I love it. Or no, Ernest is Amorim from everything I've.
He's Amorim in? Good.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Amorim
Can't-
in.
Yeah, Riverside is a little finicky the first time you join it. I can hear myself through his thing.
Yeah, there's an echo.
Okay now.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Oh, okay. I'm Amorim in. I've always been Amorim in. You know what?
So what are you feeling?
I've never been. I don't know what I'm feeling. I really don't know what I'm feeling. I don't understand any of these Amorim outers or not even. And I think Raphael was honestly said the best thing, and that's what I've been saying. I'm more fans out than even owners or board or anything out. Because we've seen this thing repeat so much. Every single manager that comes in he never gets what he wants. What does he have to do? He has to adapt. And then after adapting, he gets sacked. You bring him a new manager, you tell him this, he doesn't get it, you want him to adapt, you sack him again, you bring him another one, you do the same thing all this time. And I don't understand how United fans don't see this. They don't I don't know how blind they can be to be talking about manager. And the one that makes me sick is how the hell did a private message between top level official get leaked and no one is even talking about that?
It's intentional.
There's an echo, but
Yeah, I just have to, whenever you're not talking, Ernest, I have to mute you because
So-
there's an echo. But
No, I
So
so here's
touching
the
on what
thing,
he said, can
Ernest,
I-
if you check your settings on Riverside, just turn on echo cancellation.
he already has, it's on actually, but it's so bad that it's still echoing.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
cool.
here's
All right.
the thing. What Ernest explained is called a death loop, right? Since the Glazers came in, they've created a death loop for managers. And it's that simple. It just keeps repeating and repeating, and you don't know you're in it till it's too late. We've all seen movies with death loops, right? There's that movie with Tom Cruise. There's like multiple movies, and that's what we're stuck in given this ownership group. We thought Ineos was going to make it better. No, Ineos is just coming in creating even more problems.
That's my biggest concern. My biggest concern was I thought we were done with the loop. I thought we were out of that. You're right, 100%. We've been in this cyclone loop since like Ferguson retired. We've even done it to interim managers. But I thought two things. Number one, the worst person we ever got rid of, no matter what. Maybe you guys won't agree with me, but for me, the worst person we ever got rid of, as in like the worst time when we got rid of a person we should never have gotten rid of, was Ralph Ranić as our sporting director. I thought as an interim.
Absolutely.
Do you
Yeah, I
know
thought
why
it
we
was-
got rid of him, Samix?
Because he talked too much.
Yes, exactly. And
No,
that
exactly.
was the
But my
worry.
point is he didn't insult anybody. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he talked too much, but he didn't insult. All he said.
No, hold on, Samix. He insulted the entire squad. He said open heart surgery. That was aimed at every single player.
No. But he didn't. You can insult
didn't
the
insult
squad,
the
as far
board.
as I'm concerned. You can always insult the squad. I meant he didn't insult his higher ups, like the people on
Yeah.
top of him.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? He didn't try to I'm not gonna say it because it sounds vulgar, but upstream. He didn't do it upstream. He kept it downstream.
Sorry, are you saying finger up the butt? Is that what you?
No, but who? I forgot who was. Wasn't that Be Cool?
Yeah, it was.
People who weren't here for that video are gonna be like, "Wait, Be Cool did what?"
Can I directly quote it?
It's fine. Bro.
what's it
My stream today didn't get demonetized. You'll be fine.
So Ralph Ranić pointed out the problems, and he did it even more politely than what Ruben Amorim's doing, I think. Because Ruben Amorim's making it obvious that he feels like some people are not doing their jobs. That's what it feels like to me, right? Like it feels like he's saying either that or someone told him how to do his job. So either he's saying you're not doing your job, or someone told him recently how to do his job, and he's like, I'm the manager, not the coach. You're the scout. Go scout. I'm going to do my job. You do your job. So
Meeks,
either
what
he's
I-
saying, don't tell me how to do my job, or he's saying you're not doing your job. One or the other. I'm not sure. But that's the only two scenarios I can think of to say something like that publicly.
What I think is
You
really
guys were-
surprising is that
It could be both.
no, but like they talk to each other every day. Like you were expecting that this recruitment team, Wilcox and Vivell, are talking to Amorim every day. And from what reports that we've gotten from folks at The Athletic say that at least Wilcox and Amorim are speaking every day on the training pitch. So to have a big disconnect like this, where he's going out there and feeling like I need to voice this opinion that I have about others not doing their jobs and doing it in public when he has every opportunity to do so in private, feels like very much to me that it's a response with when things got leaked with that executive group message that was sent out. I just think that there's room for concern around, you can have your doubts about the people that you're working with, but for trust to have fundamentally broken down between one of these like 3 or 4 parties that are involved, you can't come back from it. And it's especially not the culture that that they were talking about, the concept of badge bravery and spirit that Barada said, as like his beginning of the season message to all of the employees at the club. Doesn't align with that, and we'll probably see if whether or not that's actually going to continue to stay, because, well, for what it's worth, Brailsford is very big on organizational culture as well in order to see sporting success or to see a team perform. So,
Bro, the next time that any NEO sporting venture actually succeeds at something, because it's been a while, then maybe we can listen to Brailsford. But literally every sporting thing that they're doing right now is not doing that well.
right, but I mean, we can have an opinion, but it doesn't matter if the owner is going to listen to the guy,
Yeah, unfortunately.
right?
The same guy
So-
who wanted Dan Ashworth in. Yes.
You know
He
what
did,
came
and
to
then-
mind today
Yeah.
for me? You guys remember that comment that Ibra made when he said he got a juice at the hotel, and then he got charged back on his check for it from United? And he
Yeah.
was like, I've never seen this ever in my life before. For some reason, that came to my head today. I'm like, and then you had the whole Ronaldo thing. Andy, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. They charged him for juice. Have I not? How have I
Yeah,
not
he
heard
went
about
to a hotel.
Yeah,
He got a juice from the mini bar, right? And United obviously paid the hotel fees, but they charged Ibra back on his paycheck for that juice.
They
The
cut it out
fact
of
that
his
he
paycheck.
noticed it is crazy, right? Like it's an
So- but
insignificant
I'm
amount,
saying-
yeah.
And he said he's never seen that before, and he's been at some shithouse
yeah.
clubs, right?
Yeah.
I think that says a lot. Also, the whole the Carrington got redone because of Ronaldo. When he was talking about the facilities, was it Ronaldo?
Yes.
I mean, no. So here's the thing, right? The problem with Ronaldo is Ronaldo could have come out and done this 50 different ways, but he chose to do it in the worst, most petulant way possible. So
Yeah.
I'm not giving any credit to Ronaldo for getting Carrington redone. That's just Ineos coming in and
Dude, he
looking at
he
the
did
state
it
of
with
things,
an
investing
with an
in it.
Arsenal fan, and like Pierce Morgan loves to say negative things about Manchester United. That's just the wrong person to go and do it with.
also the way he did it though. Like Pierce Morgan wasn't even the worst person in that interview. It was Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's things that players are coming out and saying against the club in general, but we don't know what's being said on the back end by the players as well. That's not public, right?
There's-
I'd love some of those screenshots leaked.
Alex is in the chat saying he really wants to get on, so I'm gonna let him in, even though I was waiting for there to be a little more room. But let's let Alex in too. Alex, what's up, man?
Hey, so like you guys were speaking, I really like all of you because since I started watching both of you, Andy and CMX, I actually understood people try to acknowledge what people are doing, and I really appreciate that. Since I'm Portuguese, like I see Ruben as like a really good trainer besides Mourinho, of course. So when you spoke about the bad things that they said about the open surgery to the heart and stuff like that, Mourinho said the same thing about Heritage, and we need to understand that Amorim got the worst of all of the years that actually
I
United
honestly
declined.
believe that. I believe Amorim has the worst squad since Ferguson's retirement. Is everybody on the panel in agreement of that?
Yeah, I'd agree with
No, I don't agree with that.
Who,
I'll
who
tell
do
you
you
why.
think had the worst squad?
I'll tell you why. I'm talking about Ruben Amorim when he walked in through the door. That was the worst squad.
Yeah.
Up there, yes. I don't know if it was the worst, but
Who was worse than him, especially in a relative perspective?
Yeah,
Brother,
yeah. Like I think
we
from
had
the
a team with
start,
Eric
like as a
Bailly in the
starting
back.
base, Ed, I think he had the worst squad.
Bro, Eric Bailly when he came in was not, relatively speaking, worse than some of the center backs we had at this club.
I
Like
think he has the
Maguire on
most
one leg.
depleted squad. The least options, let's say, per position.
Bro, it's a worse squad. The first 6-8 months that he played, that was the worst squad we've ever had.
Like you need to understand when he came in, he actually had the mentality of the players like down bad, and he needed to like try to improve that as well. It's just not about the depth or the quality of the players. If they don't have the mentality to actually play decently, they won't play like they won't. They will bring the results in a worst shape they can. That's the truth. He came to the worst time to United. That's my point. It's not even about the value or the players that they were. Yeah, they had Rashford, Garnacho, and stuff like that. Like those players were pretty decent valued, but they couldn't bring anything. Especially if we talk about like the mentality in the games, they couldn't do anything because they were just there to make. Imagine, for example, Rashford when Ten Hag was the manager, he always brought Rashford for one reason, to actually score something, to be the difference in the game. But at this moment, when Amorim came, do you think Rashford could do the same? Like Oyland could do the same? Like nobody could play because they don't know how to play, especially if the difference is the tactic itself. Like it's really complicated.
I'm right there with you. He's making a 4-cylinder car look like a Ferrari right now. Amorim is. Let's be honest. And things are breaking down, and he's trying to band-aid fix them, but he doesn't have the money to fix the full car to make it go full speed, and the owners don't want to put the money in. And I think it's a cry for help. Give me players, but I don't think they're gonna give him anything.
Wait,
It might
I
not
agree
be the
with you.
owners, though. It might actually be the scouting department. I mean, he called out the scouting department and technical director. It might be because look, the owners made money available to go get Semenyo.
Yeah.
So it might actually be the scouting department and technical director saying, "These are our targets. We can't get them now. We're gonna wait till summer to go get them." And he's like, "What the hell is how, guys? I could do their job." And I'm not kidding. This one, I keep telling you guys, I always downplay what I can do. I always say things. Earlier, I was saying Jason Wilcox is supposed to have one of the best eyes in football. I think of myself as someone who has normal eyes. I just pay attention. So earlier, I was downplaying myself. But honestly, if their job is, hey, my target is the guy who scored the most goals in the Premier League last season, and Brian Mbeumo or whatever, or second most goals, and then the other target is the guy who outdid his XG last season in Cunha. Who can't? Anyone with a freaking internet connection can do that. If that's how you're doing your job, I can do your job.
So Meeks, can I just say something on top of that? I've heard Jamie Carragher today say he's a barely competent manager for the
Dude,
Premier League. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Carragher, bro.
No,
Did
I
do
know.
it the right time,
No,
or did the
seriously,
F word
fuck
get through?
him. And listen, I'll just say this because my point isn't that he said it. Like I respect Jamie Carragher because he's trolling, and I would do the same thing if I was in his position and Liverpool was shitting the bed. I would be trying to ruin their project. That's what he does every time. I get it. My point is, you're talking about a manager, because everybody says this, right? Jamie Carragher is the one that pisses us off, but even Gary Neville said this. Everybody else has said this about the 13 wins in the calendar year, how shit you've been, blah, blah, blah. Thomas Frank has managed in this league for 4 seasons. He went to Tottenham and he's shitting the fucking bed. I'm sorry, Semi, to be sorry. Yeah, he's shitting the bed. with a squad that is arguably comparable to us. We might have better players at the top, but they have better squad depth.
All around roster. They have the better roster.
They have a better all-around roster. Yes, they're playing in 2 competitions, but that's what he signed up for, right? To play in the Champions League. You don't think Ruben Amorim wanted to manage in the Champions League? So what are we talking about here? Because Thomas Frank, by the way, after 3 game weeks, when Tottenham won all 3 of their first games,
everybody was saying
like,
we should have got Frank, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we should have gotten Frank. Where are they now? Where's their XG? Where's their underlying stats?
no, it's fans need to understand that, like, I was saying this earlier in the video. I'm going to say it again because we have more viewers now. Guys, you can want Amorim out. If you have, I don't care why you want him out. You can want him out, but this isn't the way. You shouldn't want somebody out because he's frustrated at this kind of thing. You should want him, if he loses, I said earlier, and I'll say it again, if he loses 5 out of the next 8 games, you're okay to want him out. Like, I can respect that opinion. I might not agree with you, but I can respect that. But for him to go out for opening his mouth without disrespecting people, just saying, do your job, I'll do mine, that's not disrespectful. That's just saying you're not doing a good enough job. That's fine. It's honesty. It's kind of like wanting Ralph Rangnick out, I'm saying, for saying open heart surgery. So to me, if you want Amorim out and you're celebrating this, I think you're missing the point, because this only leads to our club sinking lower.
I think this, okay, so like the scammer him out guy is like my biggest fan, right? And I don't even think he's like a dumb guy. He wants Amorim out because of the statements Amorim has made where he's like, I refuse to change, right? When he said, I'm not changing for anybody. I think that's what those fans want him out, because they don't think he's adaptable. But he is a world-class manager. He is adaptable. He's very stubborn, Portuguese, right, Alex? He's very stubborn, but I think at the end of the day, any manager you put in this situation, because they want him to play to his strengths. What are his strengths? 6 academy players on the bench? Is that a strength? Is that what we're talking? There is no strengths.
It's impossible.
You have 12 players. You have 12 players that can actually play right now.
Ernest, go ahead and talk, man, because you're off. We're being echoed, so you go ahead.
Yeah, and honestly, this stupid thing about this stupid thing about playing to strength is very annoying. And you know what? It makes no sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to some people, but this is the same strength that people are talking about that we've been playing all this while. And you know, and one of the reasons why I might credit Ineos a bit was if they really thought that the only problem with United was playing a back four, I'm sure that would have been sorted out by now. So this strength thing, playing to strength and everything, these are the same strength. These are the same players that I can assure you that 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 90% of the fan base were saying, get these players out of this team. The recruitment have been bad. So how is it now all of a sudden a manager comes in, spends a bit of time, and now you are back, you guys are on the manager again? How does that make sense? So in 1 season or 2 seasons ago, these players were bad, but all of a sudden a new manager comes in, he spends 6 months, 1 year, then all of a sudden those players that were bad are not bad anymore. What, honestly, I'm holding myself to say bad words, but this owners and board should get out of that club. They should get themselves out of that club. And until United fans become truthful to themselves and say the honest truth that this thing has nothing to do with, even sometimes not even the players as well. Because we talk about recruitment, it's not the players that are recruiting themselves. So it's not the players that are recruiting themselves. So at the end of the day, this fan base has to be honest with themselves and say the truth that this is gone beyond manager. And now I remember when the season started, all of these Gary Nevilles and all of these people out there never pitied us to be where we are currently. So how all of a sudden now
You got stuck, Ernest.
Yeah, he's
You
like,
got stuck, man.
but I'm right
You are
there
in
with
this
him.
position.
But there's one thing I actually want to say. Because you spoke about it, C-Max, when I watched your videos about the tactics, about Ruben Amorim, and like, there's one thing that he did with that tactic is like the way that he can implement different things at the same time on the pitch, and like that's amazing. And people telling me he's too stubborn to actually change it. Like, I actually don't think people understand what he's doing.
It's
because
I try to say that all the time. People don't understand what the hell's going on in that 3-4-2-1 that he's doing. I just released a tactics video, like I think it's public since today. I did it for the members like a day or two ago. And in that video, I even pulled out a tactics board and showed like how in that one build up there are 5 different options of where the ball can go and how it can circulate. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it, man. I put in a lot of work, but that's not my point. My point is that like that's just one example of one of the things he does with 5 different options. Almost all his routines and patterns supply 3 options minimum, no matter what.
Mind
Even
you,
the long ball to the zone 16 or whatever.
what
There's
what you did, Samix, and like breaking down like, oh, there's a coherent way of playing, was the biggest criticism that the team had of Ten Hag. Of like, we don't know what the style is. It was the biggest criticism coming into this manager as well. Like, we don't get it. Look, he's playing a different formation. Fine, valid. That's okay. But there's a cohesive way to play. Right? Now, this is an identity that, and I don't want the revisionist history from the Athletic or whoever is going to come out and say that Wilcox doesn't want this. They said that they wanted this system because that's what they believed the evolution of the club was going towards. It is not anything to do with, how do I put it? It's got nothing to do with the fact that they don't think that he's adaptable enough or whatever, right? I think there's something else. I think that there's a power play that's going on that Ruben Amorim is just caught up in the middle of, and he doesn't want this noise.
I think you're right that there's some aspects to a power play going on, or else like again the talks of like I'm the manager, I'm not the coach. That again, that just makes me feel like someone tried to like put him in his place, sort of, and he's trying to crawl from under that. And it's probably was something that was said to him in what he considered to be a disrespectful manner. I just can't envision other scenarios, but I might be wrong. But to answer what Ernest said, because Ernest brought up some good points that Ed was saying that he was with him, because I was with Ernest too. Ernest was saying like, I don't understand why this fan base doesn't get it. And I would ask players like, Scammer him out. I would ask, sorry, I said players. I would ask people like Scammer him out. If you want him out though, is this the way you would want him out? Because this doesn't make sense. Like, this is not good for the club. And also, do you then believe that all these players in the squad are good? Because honestly, I think we hype up our players too much, and I get sick of it sometimes.
You should invite Scammer out to the panel. I'll leave.
No,
I
well,
would
even
also
if you showed up, you wouldn't have to leave. I can get 10 people in here.
No, I'm just saying, like, to maintain the balance
you're
visual
saying
or
because
whatever.
I'm sure
happy to
you'd have
step
some
out.
things to say too.
So
I need you to help me like hold Ed down.
Can I go off on a
Scammer him
tangent? Can I go off on a tangent really quick? And I think Nelson will agree with me here when I
Yeah,
change my
sure.
name.
But let me just finish one thing.
Yes.
I think we blow up our players too much. I think we talk them up too much. I think it's time to be real. Like, our players aren't that good. We don't have a squad full of Real Madrid players. Like, we just don't. And like even the young ones like Mainu, we talk them up too much. Look, there is something to be said about being a loyal fan and having the back of your players. But can we be realistic about it and not put them on the highest pedestal ever? Because these managers we've sacked over the years aren't that bad. They're not that bad.
I
Go
think
ahead, Ed.
Samix, the point isn't that the managers aren't that bad. It's rather every single manager does better than they did had they had some competence above them. Every single one of them. Like you said, you made a video a couple days ago talking about how every single manager hasn't been backed, right? And you started with David Moyes. You're right. We gave him Fellaini and Juan Mata. He wanted Cruz. He wanted, I can't even remember now. It's been so long.
They told him they were going to get him Bale. He didn't even ask for Bale.
Bale, Cruz, those were the players we were going after at the time. Both of them, or Bale was already at Madrid, I think. And we're sitting here saying that, you know, Ruben Amorim, like we're basically at the same fork in the road, and we keep going down the wrong road.
Yeah.
But like one thing, since we started like that meeting when he said, yeah, you saw me training the four in the back, you remember that thing was leaked by someone, and probably from the board. I bet it. That's why he's so pissed. But besides that, like, if we want a left wing, because we need a left wing, and y'all think about Cunha, yeah, that's what everyone thinks. Amorim doesn't want Cunha at left wing. He wants him at attacking mid-side. Point to carry the ball and pass the ball to the forwards. So like, if they were going to bring Semenyo, because they wanted to bring Semenyo, and I think he wanted to bring Semenyo as well. Everyone talks about Semenyo as a left. How do you call that? It's not a left defender.
Right winger.
Wing
no,
back.
Wing back. A wing back.
Semenyo,
Thank you.
Wing back. Yeah.
Everyone thinks about Semenyo as a wing back, but I bet Amorim knows that he wants to evolve to the 4-2-1-3 using the same prospect as the 3-4-3. You know, like the rotations being the same, but like more compact. That's my feeling. But like, they didn't get the menu, and they are not going to get the mid side right now. Like, they won't, because they can't. They can't. I don't think they believe in it at this moment. Can be bought. Wharton can be bought, so on and so forth. You understand what I mean? So if you need a left wing to actually play the 4-2-1-3, and they were going to get the menu.
You're basically saying there's players that are not available, and the recruiting department should do their job and find alternatives, which is basically what he's saying.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
he's
But like,
saying-
everyone speaks about John Gomez. Like, John Gomez would be a good guy to the mid side. He has the legs, but does he have like the IQ that we need to actually develop the mid side?
No, but honestly though, like Alex, if you deep what you're saying, and Andy, I need your help here because you're better at this part than I am. Like, does it, you know, people like to say Ineos are doing a good job in recruitment. Our recruiting department's doing a better job because of last summer. Let's take Lamens out of the equation, because I have to admit, I'll put my hands up. Like, Lamens was a good recruitment, but I have a guarantee that it was probably done by some goalkeeping scout that me and you will never know his name. The guy who brought Lamens up, right?
No, we've been, hold on, in the background, Lamens has been talked about for over a year.
Fine. Yeah, but don't you think he was discovered by some goalkeeping scout?
Let me quantify what I'm
Tony
saying.
Coton,
Right?
right? Sorry, go ahead.
What's that? Oh, then you're talking about the name of the goalkeeping coach, right?
Yeah.
So there was a goalkeeping scout, I think, who kept talking about Lamens as being one of the best. Not because last season he had the crazy XG overperformance in Europe, but even before that, they've been talking about him as a great goalkeeper, and we've been wanting to bring him in for the longest time. So let me frame Lamens as a good signing that the players, that the fans enjoy, and we're very happy that he's here. But this is a player that we could have probably gotten for 5 million had we done the deed last year, instead of paying 20 mil. You know, the deals like Orozco that we do for 1 million, and like Evan and all that. So you want to give them credit.
We missed out on that Chelsea midfielder right before he went to Brighton. I forgot his name.
Caicedo. Yeah, we missed out on Caicedo, but that was before Ineos.
Sure.
Before Ineos, we missed out on Caicedo, we missed out on Enzo Fernandez, and Julian Alvarez. All three of them we could have gotten for 20 million, by the way.
Or less.
Okay. But I'm just saying, for Lamens is a case where we could have done even better than we did and got him in even earlier. So God knows, maybe we don't lose against Grimsby because he has this guy waiting in the background. Right? God knows we don't lose against, or we draw against Fulham, lose against Arsenal, lose against Brentford, because this guy's in the background, right? I will tell you the player that we need to give Ineos credit for, that's Aiden Heaven.
Yeah, for sure.
Aiden Heaven's the guy.
One of Jason Wilcox, like, academy connections and stuff, right? I'm really trying to narrow this down to Christopher Vivell. Like, so far, I'm trying to find, like, where's his fingerprints on our scouting?
Sheshko. It's Sheshko.
And Sekou Kone.
Yeah.
Sure, but like, he's going on loan to Lausanne Sport. Like, I don't. Why are we talking about
for sure. But I mean, I'm agreeing with you in that, like, I don't think he's done anything yet.
But I don't know if you guys have. I was waiting for Shaylin to talk about this because I was just in the background listening. But have you guys actually followed our hierarchy of how we buy players? It's exactly as to what that comment by Tactical Devils said, which is Ed Glaze is the one who still validates where the money goes to. You guys do know this.
Jarvis?
Yeah,
No,
no,
Avram
yeah,
and
yeah, Avram and specifically Ed. Ed is the one who assesses. That's why we always go for players with a bunch of goals, because it's a clear, simple statistic for them to view. This is on an Athletic article. I'll put it in the in Andy's Discord so that you guys can see. They've stated this over and over and over again. So this isn't me trying to back Vivell or Wilcox, but if let's say they agreed on Semenyo,
this is just before you go into this thing. So Joel and Avram and Joel, for simplicity's sake, likes that thing. But this is where Amorim is saying you need to do your job, because as an executive, you have to be able to convince the board and your owners to invest money beyond just this simplistic mode of view, right? But I feel like we're on the same page. But
To Shaylin's point, 100%. They had okayed the Semenyo money, right? So
Yes,
now
because
your job is
it's
to
a
go
really
find an
easy deal.
alternative.
Yeah,
Your job is to go find an alternative and convince Ed that, hey, this is cheaper than the Semenyo money because it's an alternative, but it's going to help us and get us some points and give us a run at top 4 or 5 or whatever. That's your job. That's not Amorim's job.
So here's the issue, Samix. Just as an example, again, I'm only here as devil's advocate, just so you guys are aware. But I'm just explaining what happens. If you're doing a project, and I apologize, I have to go this way. Every single goal has allocated resources. So for Semenyo, they had those resources. But if you say central midfielder, even though you know they have 60 million, that still has to be vetted by the guys above, by the board. It's why for so long you still hear us being linked with what's his name? The central midfielder from Baleba. It's why we're still linked with him, but we've never gone for him yet. We haven't put a bid in yet.
Nelson, if I may, first of all, let's give Nelson some credit, because he was one of the first ones to say, look at what they've done at Lausanne, look at what they've done at Nice, and this we should have expected this. I was the one here trying to see glass half full, in the sense that they haven't shown us that they're idiots yet, well, fully to that extent. And this, we've reached the breaking point, so now we're on the same page, right? Nelson, would you accept that? Yeah. So I want to say, Nelson, for your point about the allocation of funds, right? Because, if you're working in an organization, let's say you work for like Amazon, Google, or something like that, they might give you a certain budget to spend for like, AI credits. And now if you say, I don't want to use those AI credits because I don't need them anymore, or they're too expensive, you can't just go use that for a party, right? Like, that's maybe what you're alluding to in terms of like how the funds are organized. My point is these. Oh, Nightwing just gifted 10 memberships, by the way. That's crazy.
Dude, Nightwing, what's up, bro? Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. 10 gifted memberships. I think that's the largest gifted memberships amount that we've had on this channel. So we have a new record. Thank you so much, Nightwing. You're the man, dude. And
Nightwing, thank you.
I appreciate
so much,
that. Instead of getting on the show and trying to cheer me up like you did last time, this time you bought some memberships for everybody else to cheer me up, and it worked, man. I'm a lot happier now. So thank you so much, Nightwing.
So if I may go back to Nelson's point, and Nelson, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I just wanted to
please go ahead.
The point that Samix made a while ago is we seem to be going after guaranteed, no chance of failure signings that 10-year-old kid could tell you, right? Just by looking at the goals and assist charts. Because we went and signed Brian Mbumo. There was nothing special about that. We went and signed Mateus Cunha. There was nothing special about that. Those were two of the best players in the Premier League from under us in the table, and they were stars in their team, right? Then we're looking at Benjamin Šeško, one of the best striker prospects in the Bundesliga that we have been scouting for 2 or 3 years, by the way. Right? This isn't like a sudden achievement. And I just talked about Lawmans. I can't remember if you were on the show already before I said that. Lawmans we could have purchased for 4 times less, or like whatever, 25% of the fee we got him for, because the
Yeah.
goalkeeping scouts have been talking about him for 2 years,
Mhm.
right? The only person I can say that has worked out is Aiden Heaven. And listen, if you tell me they purchased Aiden Heaven for 1.6 million euros, expecting him to look like one of the best 19-year-old center backs and start for us in the Premier League, listen, man, like I've got some snake oil to sell you, right? There's no way they expected him to be that good, right? I'm
No,
not
they lucked
directing
out.
this as
They
you,
lucked
Nelson. I
out.
just mean like I'm the general viewership, right? So they got lucky with that one to the extent that they have. I'm sure they believed he could be a 20 million euro player, 30 million euro player, whatever. 50 million plus in the first season that he plays for us, no chance, right? Because that's what it's going to cost to get Aiden Heaven out of United now. More than 50 million, at least. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, you looked at Semenyo, again, that was a tap-in that you got ready to spend money for. You looked at Semenyo's not going to happen, and you're saying, I have Baleba, I have Wharton, I have Anderson. If I'm not getting those guys, I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home.
Bro, is Saeed really in the chat?
Yeah,
he
he
said,
wants to clean out house. He wants everyone to go.
Saeed, man, you want to
Saeed
get
should
on?
join
You
the-
want to get on
join the
and
call.
let everybody know your thoughts? Because I'd appreciate, I'd like it, man. I watch your stuff all the time. If you want to get on, let me know. I'll send you the link.
Just put the link in the description, bro. Just go put or pin it to the chat, and let Saeed join.
You know what's the most confusing thing to me? We're so close, given the situation. Because even, let's just say a couple weeks ago when we were talking, remember that, Nelson, about how we said it's about to be shuffering time? We're losing our whole right side.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We never expected all those injuries to happen at the same time as those players leaving. And yet, we're still 6th. Right? We're in a position if I told you before the season started, hey, your AFCON boys are leaving, Bruno's gonna get injured, Mount's gonna get injured, Mainu's gonna get injured, where do you think we would be at this point? Where would everybody pin us at? Not even 10th?
No.
And we're in a place where if they spend a little bit of money, we could continue this and potentially get Champions League, right?
100%.
And they're not doing it. I would understand if we were 15th right now and they didn't want to spend the money. That's totally understandable. But it's like, it feels like they were never going to spend the money, no matter where we were at this point.
It
No,
feels
I-
that way, but the reality of it is probably going to be different. And January 31st, you get a signing that comes in because Joel and Avram only sign off at the end of the month because they don't want to pay an extra month's worth of wages.
Can I make a hot take, please?
Sure, go for
I
it.
saw something that was actually amazing. So, I always check the rumors and stuff about percentage about players coming and going and stuff like that. And I saw that Yildiz at this moment, Kenan Yildiz from Juventus, is having problems with his salary. So, what I saw is that actually Man United made a bid of 100 million to actually buy him, with Arsenal and Chelsea.
Sorry, who?
Kenan Yildiz.
The Turkish winger.
Oh,
The
okay.
Ch- oh my
Turkish way.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's
Juventus?
making like Juventus.
Okay.
He's making like an amazing game, amazing
Season, yeah.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, just thinking, since we can't get a menu, I just want to make like a brief thingy here. What would you guys think about him
No.
coming
No.
to United?
For
He's-
100, no.
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 No. I don't know how much they are going to pay. I said what
if
I
you,
saw.
if you watch enough of so Syria, he's a little bit slow. Like he's good for the Serie A, but over here, it's gonna be like a Wirtz thing where he at least he's big. He's a big guy, so that would help. But his feet don't look too quick, so I wouldn't take Yildiz. No. For
And his
100 mil
decision making is slow even in the Euros when he did score
Yeah.
goals, and he looked like Bambi on ice in the Euros at times against really good defenders. He's a good player, but he's not what we need right now. Like
No.
you can't compare him to Semenyo because technically,
I was talking
Semenyo.
about creativity, not about speed. I was talking about creativity, and we don't have that. That's why I was talking about him.
But
And
he's
I
like a
actually found
Cunha-esque player.
Yeah, he's like Cunha,
more of
yeah.
a cut in and shoot type of guy.
Ish. Yeah, ish.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
No
No,
for Yildiz. Sorry, go on.
I love that Alex is bringing up players, but I just have this feeling that we're not going for anybody, dude. I think it's pretty obvious that this is a doom and gloom. January, maybe they're hanging on till after AFCON to make a run for Baleba, but obviously our manager is not convinced that that run's gonna come in and like become fruitful. Because I wouldn't be surprised if we find out in the last week of the window that we put a bid in for Baleba, didn't work, so we're not signing anybody.
Kind of like
It
how we
just-
found out at the end of the summer window that
Summer
we
window,
put it
yeah,
in.
just a repeat of the summer window, and it wouldn't be out of the question. It's not like something that our board hasn't. Maybe it was before Ineos. I understand that, but our board has done this before, where they go for Jadon Sancho for more than one window. They go for Bruno Fernandes for more than one window, and then they go for. Did we go for
So-
De Jong for more than one window, or was it only
Yeah,
one
no,
window?
it was more. It was every single season that Ten Hag was here. So
Yeah, we
I-
might be doing that right now
No,
again for another
with
window,
De
and
Jong,
then
De Jong, it was like the one window, but we spent like 3 months trying to like go seduce him in Barcelona and all that.
yeah, but you know something Shaylin said that I actually think is true is if once the stock market opens again, and our stock actually drops because
of the press conference.
Yeah, the last time
Yeah,
it dropped was
it will do
during
that.
Ragnick's time. When Ragnick actually said open heart surgery, the stock dropped. Like the value actually dropped, which is why we carried on. If that does happen, we will be buying a player, but at the same time, as Saeed would normally say, it's khalas. It's done. Like it's done for Amorim. If I think that's literally what I'm just waiting for this week, for this coming week.
And
No, but can I just say, I also, I have a video that I'm making that's going to be out soon. And I got to go start recording it. So I will bid adieu. Thank you for having me, Samix. And thank you for having me, everybody. I'm just going to give my parting thoughts because I'm sure you guys are going to be live for a lot longer and talk through this thing. I actually think the most likely course of action that I see coming is cooler heads will prevail. And there will be at least one attempt to calm things down a little bit. Because we have another game coming up against Burnley. This is the type of game where if you sack a manager, there's every chance you lose that one too. And then where are we? Right? So let's just calm down. We might have Bruno and Mount coming back. We might have a few good results. Let's see how things go. Where I am concerned is this may not be the last time Amorim reacts. If he does this, anything close to this again, I think he's done. Unless there is a manager that Ineos have had their mind on for the longest time, that they're sold, that he can take this squad and go win the league with it, maybe I'm missing something. But
No,
I think the easiest thing that
rumor now,
everybody
Andy,
can do...
just so you know, the rumor now, because Goldbridge put it out there, is that the contingency plan, if they need to get rid of Amorim, is that Fletcher steps in as interim till the end of the
Oh
season.
my god!
Oh, great. So
Oh
Jack
my-
and Tyler in the midfield pivot. So Jack and Tyler in the midfield
But like,
pivot. Do they?
as soon as
do
I
they
said
have
it,
a
none of
system
you
that can
guys
play
said
for us as
Goldbridge
well?
full of
No, because
right?
it's possibly
because it
true.
sounds real.
Yeah, it sounds real.
No,
As
but
I-
I'm just saying. Hold on. Samix,
Yeah.
my point is the most likely scenario for me, because what Nelson said, let's see this week, right? I really doubt that they're just gonna sack him immediately after this, because that would be the most knee jerk. Like that is something that even a soulless private equity firm doesn't do, because they understand what optics means. They don't want to hurt their own business, right? Staying for another week, another 10 days is not going to hurt them. It's not like it's crazy amount more in terms of salary, whatever. So the most likely thing for me, I think what will be interesting is to see his next press conference, which I believe is going to be pretty soon, because
It's Tuesday.
Burnley. What's that?
It's Tuesday. The pre-match
day after
press
tomorrow.
is on
Tuesday. So yeah, it's going to be in 2 days, right? So we're going to see it very soon, and that will tell us a lot about where this is going. If
I
he's
think
like,
whatever-
you know what,
I saw something telling he wasn't going to do the pre-match or post-match, so I was just calling it.
That
won't
he's not
do
going to
it.
do the pre-match?
He's not going to do it.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
but the-
surprised. I was about to say the same thing, that they would send
Yeah.
one of his assistants to go do it. Like
But
he
then
might.
that's-
this is
that's-
that's
this
what I
is-
mean, though,
if that
right?
happens, this is
that would
Maresca.
signal that it's done.
Yeah,
if
but
it's one of his
that's-
assistants.
But the most clear thing to me, when you back a line into the corner, he has no choice but to come out and fight.
Yeah,
Guys, at this
100%.
point, it is cheaper to just sack Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vivell and then just continue on with a new sporting director and a technical recruiting player. Because if you think about it, right, you realistically only need like 4 more players to get Amorim's ideal starting 11.
But-
Another midfielder and maybe 2 midfielders and maybe, two.
But you know why
center
Ineos
backs,
wouldn't do
something like
this? Because of what happened with Nice. They fired Fournier left, and the guy that brought in, go, whatever his name is,
The
guy
Nice
came
stuff is a bit of a red herring to me, Nelson, only because they've moved with such different intent and speed at United.
in. I completely disagree. I can,
But you can. I know.
I
We're
can
gonna have
show
this
you.
conversation.
The thing is, this would require a whole genuine discussion. Because
Which is, let's
I can
schedule it.
break it down. They went with the exact same speed and the exact same practice as Nice. They never changed anything. We just drank the Kool-Aid when a lot of us said, by the way, Andy can tell you, I have been calling this shit out for a while. I literally said one thing about with Amorim is that maybe it was the whole idea of him saying, I'm a manager, not a coach, seems like this was something that was a handshake agreement. That he said, I'm going to be the manager, but I'll sign that I'm a head coach. Because he was appointed as a head coach. But it seemed like that was a
I
handshake
believe that.
agreement.
I said that earlier.
That's
that
extremely
So-
naive.
So Nelson, we had a sporting fan that came through and said was talking to us earlier on my channel, where we discussed in detail about how things went down at Sporting with Amorim, and then I saw a bunch of tweets talking about how Viana and what's it called,
Amorim
Amorim
left.
worked at Sporting,
Yeah.
right? They worked very closely in approving and finding players. Okay, it was at a very different scale, right? They got like 10, 11 players for 50 mil, right? That's the type of scale we're talking about. But he had a lot more of a say in what was going on at Sporting, and he was perhaps promised some of the same things, because I'm sure all of the things that they're criticizing him for now, he would have brought up as points during his interview, saying,
Yeah.
listen, if we play a 3-4-3, you guys are saying this club has never played 3-4-3. This league has not seen 3-4-3 much. We're going to need X, Y, and Z players to make it happen. And I think he was his way of saying that, we're not going to get the time or the money to play perfect 3-4-3 was him admitting defeat and trying to meet them halfway. That to my knowledge was before the Semenyo deal was confirmed to Chelsea, to City. Right?
I
So
think
he
so,
was
yeah.
probably still sitting there holding out hope, being like, okay, you know what? I can adjust. I'll play a 4-2-3-1. You get me a winger because you guys are so hell-bent on Semenyo. Let's go get him, and we'll do a 4-2-3-1. Well, let's be flexible. Let's change it, and I'll come out that it's on my terms, etc. That was the conversation. When the Semenyo deal fell through and these guys started running around with their tails between their legs, saying we won't even give you a midfielder or anything else, that's the thing I'm pissed about, because we can't sit here pretending like, Baleba is the only midfielder that can work in the system. Dude, what the hell is the point of you guys scouting then? What's the point of all this data, Michael Sansoni, all this money that you spend? Because I'll tell you what, like if I was to, Shaylin is, can vibe code and scrape some data from XGstat or from FBref. We could sit here, create a model in a few days, and find you like 4 players that can fit the system. That could be the other Baleba. They just don't. They want to do the zero risk deals that don't leave their asses exposed at all. And in that point, like, what is the point of you having the experience? What's the point of us getting these exciting people if we're not going to take any risk and just go for the sure shot guaranteed players? And then we're going to say we're not going to get anybody else if that doesn't happen. So
And
that's
they're
the
not a
bullshit part for me.
guarantee either.
But-
It's kind of crazy.
That's exactly the talking point, Andy. That's where we need to keep the talking point. Like in my opinion.
So sorry, Semi. I gotta run. I'm so sorry.
Andy, before you run though, I got one question for you. It'll be a quick one, okay?
go for it.
Okay, give me your starting lineup for Fletcher's first game this Wednesday.
I'm
What
gonna
system is he
say-
gonna play? And
I'm
who's
gonna
he
say-
starting?
I think Tyler Fletcher plays as a 10 if I'm
Okay.
right about that. So let's go Tyler Fletcher as 10. Jack Fletcher as the left center mid in a 4-2-3-1.
Okay.
If they have a sister, she probably plays in the right center mid. Jack Fletcher's mother in goal. Jack Fletcher himself up top. Or sorry, Darren Fletcher himself up top. I think
Who Who's on
see
the
a nice
bench?
little-
Who's on the bench?
Do we
Who's
have
on the
any other
bench?
Scottish players in the team?
No,
Who's on the
it's going
bench?
to be Paul.
Who's
it's gonna
on
be
the
Wayne
bench?
Paul Scholes'
Rooney's-
son is on the bench.
Yeah,
Paul
Wayne
Scholes'
Rooney's
son.
Wayne Rooney's kid is older.
Oh, yeah, the nonverbal one,
feet
too.
are on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh,
old
that's
enough.
maybe too far, Andy. All right,
Oh,
man.
why?
I have-
We-
there's
I-
one more
I'll see
family
you,
member I
Ron,
could
we're,
go
we're
to
doing,
if I
we're
wanted to
doing
go
charity.
too
Why
far.
not give him
so
a
I'm
nice
holding
day at
back.
Old Trafford?
Listen, if you guys didn't watch the Cameroon game today,
Okay, I gotta
Blake?
run, guys. See you. Please
See
hit
ya,
the like
bro.
button.
See
We
you.
got
See ya,
almost
Andy.
190 people watching. Come on, show some love to Semix's stream. And yeah, seriously, guys, if you get to the bottom of this by the time I'm done with my video, please let me know. Semix, you have my number. Please text me.
Okay. I got
right.
you.
See you guys. Bye.
see
Peace.
Andy, if you guys watched the Cameroon game today, there was a time where Baleba won the ball back in his own half and pinged a 65-yard pass to Mbuemo's foot across the field on a dime piece. And listen, you guys say, "Oh, we need Baleba." That's all I'm
Baleba
gonna
is
tell you.
so good, boys.
Baleba's
Like,
really good, bro. Even
we-
his bad games are better than our normal games with our normal center backs.
he
Center
played played single pivot.
Yeah.
And he balled out. He was amazing. And then I was talking about it. It was insane. Jesus.
It's just something to behold. A player like that you don't let slip. That is a for sure player, and he
Yeah.
could play in any of the systems, whichever manager you bring in. If they don't sign him, that is a fail on Ineos.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'll sign him this January, but if they don't get him in the summer window, it'll be a complete failure.
I saw Liverpool already said they're looking. Actually, I was going to say something about before Andy left. I was going to respond to it, but I don't know if you guys have seen. Andy Mitten has come out and said like he doesn't understand why Amorim said the things that he said, because they were under the impression that the model that they were going Amorim's model was going to be similar to what he had at Sporting, which means that he would be listening to Wilcox and Vivell.
Yeah, but that's not true because at Sporting he had a lot of pull with Hugo Vienna, and Vienna never let him down. Dude, the guy had like Alex knows better than I do probably, but the guy had in his first summer transfer window 10 or 12 incomings.
Yeah, he like reshifted the entire squad. But the other part to this too is that where it's different is that at Sporting, he was actually determining what player profile to go for, and even specifically what players would be the top targets that Viana would then just go out and start negotiating deals for.
But I think Amorim always got the final
Yes.
like thingy. So
Yes.
when they spoke with the players, it was always Amorim. So it's technically different because here he doesn't speak to anyone, and they just bring players, and he says, "Okay, I can handle that." I think it was Cunha that actually we played last year against Wolves, and he spoke with him in the final of the game, and he said, "What would you think about playing at Old Trafford like forever?" And he said like, "Nice, let's go." You see the difference? Like,
Yeah, didn't he also try to have dinner with Semenyo? I don't know if that happened.
he
did have
tried
dinner
it.
with
He
Semenyo
tried. He
last summer.
tried it. He tried it. He tried it. I don't know if it happened. So I don't know.
Apparently, he actually did have a dinner with them. They talked and they agreed on the project and everything. The problem is the deal sheet that were given to him by the owner up and everybody else was less than what they agreed upon before. And he ended up staying and signing a deal with the release clause in it at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Wait,
with
Ben,
Semenyo.
could you
With
just
Semenyo.
Yeah,
clarify
yeah.
the timing of it? Like the dinner
Yeah,
was
like last season.
recently?
No, at summertime before we went for Mbumo.
Summertime.
Okay.
Before we went for Mbumo, he wanted to go for Semenyo. They asked for way too much. They asked for more than Brentford was asking for Mbumo, and then he signed a contract with a release clause. Semenyo did because they weren't going to sell him for less than like 80.
Hey Shant, what are they arguing about behind you?
Oh man, dude.
So to me, I think
why?
this is a classic problem of everybody stepping on each other's toes.
That's exactly
Because
right, actually.
These new guys want to prove themselves because they are doing this job for the first time also. So like people said before, Amran is the only one who actually had done his job before. Jason Wilcox is becoming a football director for a big club for the first time. Barada is a CEO for the first time. They were not the decision makers where they were. So now they want to prove that they are the brain behind bringing Manchester United back. And at the end of it, if it doesn't go with their idea of thinking, it's not going to work. The same way that
Guys, is there some background
Sean,
noise
that's
or hum?
Sean, dude, Sean,
Yeah.
bro. I think there's some sound coming in through your mic. I'm gonna turn your mic
Specifically,
volume down
what
a
do
little,
you hear?
Like
Is this better?
like a fan
Yeah.
or something?
yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Is there
yeah.
something in Pacific? Let me see.
No.
I got it. I just turned your mic down a little bit, and it should be
Okay,
good.
got it. Cheers. Thank you.
Iwan, just to clarify, Wilcox was the sporting director at Southampton before we got him though. Sorry, no, director of football. Sorry, before.
Yeah, yeah,
he
we'll-
was the technical director.
He was technical director at. He was technical
Because I thought the
director.
guy that
then
went to
moved up, no?
Liverpool was the football director.
1 second, let me find out. I thought I saw it was Wilcox. Give me a second.
Yeah, Wilcox was at Southampton doing that job. I
I thought
thought.
it was
Yeah.
a technical director, and the guy ended up going to Liverpool was the director, or did that guy came up to him?
No, yeah, he was director of football at Southampton.
But
Wilcox.
Sean, I didn't get to ask you earlier when you were on, and Nelson, I want to talk to you about this
no
too.
worries.
I actually want to go with both of you guys. The manager market.
Yes, sir. What about it?
If this goes down to what, first of all, Sean, actually, we didn't even talk to you about this at all. What do you think happens after this? Do you think there's a way out of this without sacking anyone? I mean, the thumbnail says
No
someone's getting
way,
sacked.
No way.
Someone has to
Andy-
get sacked,
Listen,
right?
I love Andy for so many things, but you know, part of when I was on his stream and you were looking at me so incredulously, like I took some like uppers or like Molly or whatever. Like I was I was just really trying to just say, hey, you know what? This is what I think a competent group of people would do.
Yeah.
And every decision before and every data point that we have shows that this is just Chuckle Brothers and, you know, just
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
Yeah.
So I don't have like that, like, I don't. Here's the worst part about it, Semix, and I'm sorry to like not answer your question like fully. I really don't care because it doesn't matter to me like what the succession plan is, knowing that with these people at the helm, there is a 0 chance. It's not that there's a non-zero chance that they could turn the season around. There's a 0 chance of the sporting project having any type of
Success. Long-term
aspirations,
success. Yeah.
short term even, because everything we've asked for as fans, Amram gave it to us. We were not prepared to actually see through a rebuild. We wanted a system. You're getting a system. We wanted bad apples out of the club. We got them out of the club. We wanted long-term thinking. We were being patient. And then something changed. And if that's why in the presser he says, if we're affected by Gary Neville and criticism, it seems that prior to that, there was at least an assumption on Amram's side and from Ineos' side that we're going to back you, give you the 3 years. And then Amram says, okay, great. And we're good for January, right? And they said about that.
Yeah.
And then
Change your
that's when it
style.
changed.
Yeah.
So what you surmised and what Ed did, what Nelson did, and basically everyone who didn't have their head up their ass like myself, was that this was a guy that was told the bad news. He was given the bad news, and he faced the music, and then, you know, he said, okay, well, I still got to do my duties as a custodian. So he goes out in the presser, says what he needs to say, and then sleeps on it. The next day, does his job professionally, but he's still seething. Even if
And he coached
won,
a
by
good
the way.
game. And he coached a good game,
Yeah.
which I
was a
think
great
people aren't
game.
giving him aren't giving him enough credit for being in that emotional state and still coaching a good match and not bottling it.
And again, I don't give a shit if someone's Amram out. You can have you can have a different view if you want a different manager. That's totally fine. But it's, to me, whether you're Amram in or out, the method by which they're choosing to relieve this manager by making his own job untenable is disgusting. That is disgusting to me. And that's why we saw the insubordination of Amram speaking out and saying, hey, I am the manager, not the first team coach or not the head coach. Even though everyone is going to be the semantics police and say, "Oh no, it was announced as
Yeah.
head coach." Well, if there's some type of discrepancy between assumptions, then guess what? That means you guys aren't on the same page. And then again, it leads more credence to the fact that look at how they've chopped and changed so many moving parts that we were told were going to be so integral to this rebuild. So we're just totally shifting the goalposts on everything. First, Dan Ashworth, best in class. Dan Ashworth gets booted. Wilcox, COO at City, second-hand man. Well, he's not as good as, or it's not he's not as good. He is now, based on the reports that are coming out, he's going to be backing Wilcox. And then, if you're going to be backing Wilcox, I want to see a little bit more, I guess, proof that that's the horse you're going to back. I much rather back the horse that has innovated the way that the world football is being played, that has gotten results against the best teams in the world, and that has taken a team that was a dormant giant in sporting back to the top and completely revolutionized the way that we view a three at the back system. So I'm like, that's where my head's at. So I don't really care about the manager market.
I'm gonna like make a statement. And this is just making a really big. No. This is making a big assumption.
For some reason, because I got the headphones on, every time you turn away from the mic, I barely hear you.
Oh, my bad. No, I'll speak into it. Apologies. I think if Sir Jim has a brain, and I think if Barada has a brain, it makes sense to back Ruben Amorim and not Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vivell, because you can replace those two much quicker with likely better options than you can with the manager, especially if you look at the overperformance that he's doing. And this is why I said I'm going to make a statement, but there's a big assumption that they're intelligent in terms of how they got there. Now, I know they're intelligent in business. In football, I'll concede to Nelson, remains to be seen.
It's interesting. Oh, sorry, Ed. Ed, you haven't said anything. Go ahead.
I just have like an analogy. We put Amorim on the Titanic after it hit the iceberg, and we're expecting him to rebuild the ship in the middle of the ocean with no lifeboats.
Yeah, this is
At the end
the
of the day.
McKinsey thing, right? Like you're building the plane as, or you're whatever.
Exactly.
Something. Yeah, exactly.
And not giving him time to do it is the biggest mistake this club is going to make since allowing Eric Ten Hag to purchase an $80 million Brazilian fidget spinner. And I'm
Or
going
the
to leave it at
goalkeeper.
that.
I don't.
No, I've already forgotten. I've already forgotten he played here. Why are you reminding me?
I want to get to Ayun. Am I right in remembering this? Ayun, you wanted Amorim out. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, and my reasons, I have reasons why I don't want this manager out. At the end of the day, as much as we defend him, the record is not great.
Okay. Hold on,
Whatsoever.
Ayun. Hold on one second. I just wanted to lead you into this conversation. I have a question for you. And I understand that. I understand the record is not great and all that, and you have every right, and I respect that opinion. But here's the deal: do you want him out under these circumstances? Because
No.
This is a different thing. This is a manager being sacked for speaking out respectfully but truthfully. I don't think he disrespected anyone by saying what he said.
No,
I'd
do
argue
not.
that with anybody.
No, I do not. I'm personally, I don't see a benefit of changing him right now in a way. But my problem
Very
with
good.
this is,
Very good.
if it's your guy, which is what we were told, this is our guy. You bought him knowing he played specifically one way. And you should have stuck with him, buy every single player that he need. First window should have been 6. Second window should have been another 6.
Man, Ayun, me and you are like on the same page.
So, because if you give the guy the tools that he need and then it fails,
Ayun's smart, man.
it's
You're very
not-
like
it's
how
not,
you're. I'm very impressed because the way that you're, when people first say how people demonstrate your viewpoint, they don't think with this type of long-term view. And you've exactly nailed what people are missing in nuance. I respect your vision on wanting the manager out. It's totally valid.
Here's what I'm gonna say because you guys might not like. I actually do think if Dan Ashworth was still here, he would back Amorim because he was the only one who recognized that the squad is not built for Amorim, and that's one of the reasons he didn't want Amorim. But he was
He needs
also on
specific
board once they
players.
got him.
If he doesn't have the specific players,
Yeah.
how's he going to get anything on the pitch?
Exactly,
knew
and
that
that's what
too.
I'm saying. Like
That
the
might
higher
actually
up-
be true.
Yeah,
That might
the
actually
higher
be
up
true.
those-
That's not a bad shout. And like, I don't like Dan Ashworth at all, but
Yeah,
he seems to
But-
be a more patient kind of guy, though. That was like, hey, I knew this wasn't going to work. Like,
but if
I
you
mean, he
keep
let
this
Gareth
guy-
Southgate like run England for a while, so he's
For a
definitely
long
a
time,
patient
yeah.
guy.
But they
Sorry,
went to two
Angus.
finals. They didn't win it, but they went to 2 finals. Any other country would take that. It just overhyped England. Don't want it. But what my point was this: I feel like if you're gonna fire this guy, personally, I don't want him to be a manager. But if you're gonna fire him right now, everybody should go.
Yeah.
Because you have not proven to me that you can replace him adequately with a better manager.
You-
Because I
we
would
would-
trust that.
isn't that what Saeed said? He wants everyone to
yeah,
go?
he just wants
Yeah.
everyone to go.
Everybody out. Players,
Oh, yeah.
coaches. I put this in
Oh,
the chat
yeah.
earlier. Players, managers, CEO, ownership. Been this place. If we need to restart in the championship and come back, I'm fine with it. If we don't have Glazers.
No,
I'm
by the
not
way,
kidding.
Ed, scammer him out, put your face as his avatar.
I know a grown man putting another grown man's face as his PFP is crazy, but listen, in your chat, he's
That-
actually given why he doesn't want Amorim in instead of just berating him, kind of like Ayuan's doing. So I respect it, right? Like I don't hold nothing against anybody. I think everybody deserves an opinion, even if I don't agree with them. He actually in your chat has stated why he wants Amorim out, right? Instead of just berating people.
I bring out the intelligence in everyone, bro, in or out. You know what I mean? People come to my when people come to my chat, they speak eloquently and let you know what's really on their
So
mind.
humble, Samix. So humble, man. So humble. Not giving us our meanings.
Hey, I know you guys are blaming like Vivell for this, but I think this is Jason Wilcox.
Yeah,
Because he's the
You-
one
you-
who also wanted Eric Ten Hag gone before he was renewed his season.
And he didn't
leaked
want
it
him
that
in.
they were- yeah, and he leaked the fact that they were talking to different managers a week before the FA Cup final. Wilcox.
I agree with you because I think Christopher Vivell probably doesn't give a damn what Gary Neville says, whereas maybe Jason Wilcox is the one bringing up the whole Gary Neville thing and pundits thing. I don't know though.
I don't know if you guys remember because I think people were getting excited at the time. But when Amorim was coming in, when it was clear that that was going to be our next manager, Wilcox came out early and said, that's not the guy I wanted it. He has maintained that he didn't want the Amorim profile at our club.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
The
I'm with you,
irony,
Iwan, by the way.
Nelson,
He
of
should have
that
just brought in
is-
Sean Dyche then.
Yeah.
That's what he should have done.
Bro,
It's-
I,
it-
I have a feeling if we get rid of our manager, that's the caliber manager we're going to be able to get. No one who would take this job.
Well,
Oh,
you,
there's so
you
many.
bring in Sam Allardyce so we don't get relegated. Big Sam. Get
I
10.
can already see Xavi
Yo,
coming
respect
in,
Big Sam.
unfortunately.
But don't you think if Xavi came in, he'd have
No, Xavi,
demands
no.
on like recruitment? Like he'd want his fingerprints on recruitment.
Xavi coming from playing
Do you
with
know?
De Jong
Do
and
you know
stuff. to-
Xavi's like quick 5-yard to 10-yard passes? Our players can't do that stuff.
No,
Like our players can't do simple give and goes and 5-yard passes. You're not gonna
Yeah,
get
but
that.
the only
said-
thing you would the only sorry Nelson, the only
Yeah,
thing
no,
that you
sorry.
would say like to say that would support it is they'll say, hey, we can't get obviously January transfers if they already had a deal aligned with him in January, whatever. Let's say they get him in the summer because you have players coming off the books and you have the potential sales of marquee players. It would give him a free run to build a squad in that same mind. Now, again,
This is the worst summer to try to do that because one,
course.
you're going
The
to have
World Cup.
less of a betting in period with the World
Mhm.
Cup. And then
Oh, yeah.
two, you're trying to bring in players and also like we don't turn over
regardless,
players.
even regardless of that, Shaylin, I mean, even if they gave him that type of ownership and type of authority over squad building, they've demonstrated that they're really short term when it comes to their mission statements. They say something and then they say long term, this is what we're going to do. And then they'll switch it based off the most flippant reasons. And what Amorim is saying, and the most important thing out of it was,
if the Gary Nevilles and the critiques are going to affect you, then change the club. So that was a call to action to Vivell, Wilcox, and the people inside the WhatsApp saying, if it takes you this little to knock you off of your confidence, then we don't have a project that's worth backing anyways.
I agree.
Brailsford put out like a manifest type thing, like Regina George or whatever, saying we're gonna win the title by
But
2028.
I still think what C-Max said, like moments ago, I think, or in the last video, was about someone reminding Amorim that he was the head coach. I think he took that shit so personally, like so personally.
Well,
Like-
because he said that twice verbatim. Remember, Alex?
It's
He says,
insulting. I
even
guarantee
the second
you.
question, Samix, he didn't even answer the second question. He says, "Guys, I am the manager of Manchester United, not the coach." So that when when you have like a statement you have to say, and you're in an argument, and you have that like final thing you want to say, that's what he wanted to say above everything. But reading between the lines, I think we can tell, just a sporting group, they're at odds, and they're either unanimously not backing him, or there's some people that are half in, half out. Whatever the case may be, there needs to be a change. There's no way that it can stay as status quo. This is untenable for it to be status quo. So this is just
If Xavi ever came to manage this club, all it would take is one interview from Paul Scholes, and he would flip out and leave and say really not nice words in Spanish, because he's not gonna have the grit. Also, they 100% tried to little bro Amorim in the boardroom.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%. For sure.
and
That's what it felt like.
That's
exactly
what. That's where he's at right now, and I'm not here for it. I just want to see good football. I want to see the XG keep going up. I want to see players come in. I want to see us win. I want to see skulls.
You're
as
asking
Harry
for
Kane
too
would
much.
say.
And
I'm not.
I'll say one more thing, by the way. If Xavi wanted to come, I don't think we'd get him, only because Xavi's the type in press conferences to speak his mind also.
Well, Xavi has actually stated that he wanted to come. We just didn't go for him.
Yeah, but that's what, like,
You mean
first
right
of all,
now,
we'd have to rebuild the whole squad for him, just like Amorim. Because
And by the way, guys, look at the pedigree of managers that have come to United since Fergie. Okay, Moyes aside, you had Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho. You had obviously the caretaker.
That's where it
period,
ends.
So, no. But that's
no,
those-
I like Ralph Rangnick, bro. Like, I know he was a caretaker.
I like
interim or whatever.
Rangnick.
But
I like
they're all on the
Rangnick
downturn.
as a sporting director, though, would
Better than what we have.
would have set us. That would have set us onto this path 3 years early.
Yeah.
But instead, we're coming to a heat again because we all say the things that we want as fans, as people in management, and then we go halfway through these processes. We make all the cuts, the redundancies, we ship out all the bad apples, and then just the moment there's some type of freak occurrence to the squad, there's a situation like AFCON where the players that we sign in or that we bet in are now gone, and our form hasn't even been that bad relatively in this period. We've actually gained spots somehow, but that's all it took was the outside noises going in and permeating to Wilcox, where remember we saw them at the train station, them laughing, and then we said, oh look, the gang's all happy. Well, if Wilcox underneath that still believed that he'd need to play 4-3-3, different formation, Amorim should have laughed and then pushed him onto the tracks.
Bro.
Because this guy's a fucking rat.
It's a season where people are like, "Oh, Leeds are so good. Leeds are 16th, and you're saying they're so good." Everybody
Dude,
is.
People in the
It's crazy to me.
with an Edge Discord, they're all saying, "Guys, I'm really nervous for this. Oh my god, dude, Leeds are this." I said, guys, our team, even at this dilapidated state, are better than Leeds. Let's not get it twisted. Like they're like, "Oh, but their squad is better." I said, "Yeah, they have 3 Donnies on the bench that might get into our squad. Even our bench was still better than what Leeds had coming on." So I don't.
I think 1-1 was a fair score. Like it's what I predicted yesterday. And it seemed like it was
I think
a
it was
fair
a bit
score.
unfair, Samix. I think we should have won that game. There was an individual error that cost that Aronson threw on goal, and that was Heaven not having
Correct.
but that's due to, obviously, I get it.
We're putting
Correct,
out
but
youth
that's a
out
part
there.
of the
Yeah.
game. Like
Sean,
we're playing
I
an
like how-
18-year-old center back.
Sorry, I like how Shant was pointing that there's an individual error, and he's pointing
he's pointing up
directly
at
at
the- yeah.
Wilcox.
Yeah, it was perfect.
That was very Pacific.
Yeah.
No, what I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
But we have Rishi here. And
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I just want no because everyone was, everyone was passionate and trying to get the point in. I want to know what's actually going on. I just woke up, dude. Like, what's happened overnight?
Oh, did you not see the post-match conference? Did you see
No,
the
I did. I know,
So you
I know what Amarim said.
I
We
see
had like this 3-hour live on Footy with an Edge. I don't know what's happened since then, like in the last 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, a lot of news outlets are reporting that, like, if it's Amorim or Wilcox, Barada's going to back Wilcox. That there's a breakdown in communications. That there's contingency plans for what happens after Amorim. Like, every outlet is letting out a little piece of story right now of, what's going to happen if and when they sack Amorim.
When the seagulls follow the trawler, it is because they think sardines are going to be thrown out. And the irony being that Ratcliffe's company that bought into United is called Trawlers Incorporated.
Oh, that's so funny. That's
They
so funny.
it is so apt because since the moment they've come in, this whole media circus has followed them, and they're bigger media whores than the Glazers, dude. As in the media whores of the Glazers being that they want a lot of PR, they want to be publicized in the press, they want their actions recorded, like what Ed Woodward used to do, right? Ed Woodward was a media whore.
Oh,
This Jim Ratcliffe is nothing less.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a few questions and I hope there are some answers to this. These guys came in hot and heavy saying that we are going to hire a new kind of a manager, right? When they did their whole 100-day review and Ten Hag's job was under the question, in question. And they said that we want someone who will come in and work with us. They didn't like the fact that Ten Hag had a veto on transfers, right? And when Amorim came in, this whole first team head coach and versus manager nonsense came in. I want to ask two questions. The first one being, United, the club, the size and the stature it is, as a club, as a fan base, do we deserve a first team head coach? Or do we deserve a manager? The title which carries weight with it, a title which carries responsibility, right? Like a roadside shanty that's serving food
Yes.
can get away with a cook, A 5-star restaurant, Michelin star restaurant deserves a manager, a chef, right? If these guys, first of all, if you think that a manager is not, we don't want a manager, we want a first team head coach to come in. Okay, who the hell are you guys to decide? You guys don't have any pedigree in this job. If it was Sir Alex saying that, you know what, I'm the ex-manager, I'm moving into ownership now, I'm going to buy this club, and I decide that this club should be run by a first team head coach, not a manager anymore, because that's what modern football dictates, I would take it. If City Group came in, by the way, the three teams that are seriously competing for this championship, right now or in the future, in the next 3 years, City, Arsenal, Liverpool all have managers. Arne Slot was third placed in the Eredivisie. He came in and he still became manager. This guy has won the title with Sporting. You're taking him from a manager and making him first team head coach. Like, what is this nonsense thinking, dude? I'm telling you, a title is not going to be won by a first team head coach.
This is
A title is going to be won by a
Rishi.
manager.
This is Blanket trying to follow the Arsenal model of when they had first hired Arteta and they said that you're a head coach.
Yeah,
The reason
dude, but
why
in
they
8
told
months
him-
they
No.
made him the manager.
Exactly.
In 8 months they made him the manager.
Exactly. Because they first put him as head coach because it's like, oh, well, you weren't a manager ever before. You didn't have the experience. So now we're going to do this. They just forgot the actual 8 months mark to just make him a manager.
Yeah,
well,
no,
at least with
that's
Amram.
that's a really good point from both of you guys. And I want Rishi to keep going because he's great, but I have to stop here just to acknowledge Footy with an Edge came through with a super chat saying 180 plus watching right now, but only 90 likes. Smash the likes, guys. And I didn't even know that we only had 90 likes and 180 people watching. I want to thank everyone for watching, but guys, please smash the like if you're still here. If you're watching, hit that like button, help me out. And then Footy with an Edge. Also, this guy's an interesting guy, this Footy with an Edge guy. He comes in and put in a chat and said, I don't know who this Rishi is, but he sounds really smart. I don't know, man. Footy with an Edge seems to think you're right, and I think I agree with him. I don't think that we need a cook. I think we need a chef. If you're going to act like a big club, talk like you're a big club, and also if you're going to walk around and say, and we do say this, best in class, everything. This is what our owner has said in the past. Best in class doesn't mean you get a cook. You do get a chef, right? Like you don't get someone. And plus, like I don't get this head coach bullshit. Bull. Anyways, because what does that mean? Does that mean the technical director gets to walk downstairs and dictate who's playing, what formation we're playing, and how we're playing? If he doesn't like it, so like, because I feel like that's what's going on here. I feel like our technical director Jason Wilcox is walking into Amorim's office and saying, "Why aren't you playing 4 at the back? We can't get you the players you want. We need you to play 4 at the back."
He is doing that.
But he.
No, but like the man has never coached at all.
Exactly.
You don't walk into a title-winning manager's office and tell him how to play.
But you have a chef right now, and you're asking the chef to cook you chicken paella with beef. It doesn't matter how good of a chef he is, he still can't turn, water into wine. End of the day. So you're going to fire your head chef and you're going to bring in a cook that's going to say, okay, I'll try my best, and then fail miserably and we'll be in the same exact scenario in a year's time if they get rid of Ruben, mark my words. And a year after that, and a year after that, and a year after that.
Guys, can I just bring in this statement from Arsenal when he promoted? Sorry, Ernest. I'm just going to, because we're on the topic of head coach versus manager. I'm just looking at this Arsenal statement that they released when Arteta was promoted from first team head coach to manager. They say, in terms of how that will work going forward, Mikel will join a really strong team with Edu, and they'll be working really, really closely together to manage all the other elements of our football operations that are so important. Whether that is analysis, recruitment, high performance, or medical, they'll be looking after those areas together. They'll also together be responsible for our technical recommendations, whether that's players that we are going to buy, whether that's players we are going to sell, whether that's players that we are going to loan. Of course, working closely with me and the board, working closely with the owners on the financial elements to make the decisions, but those are going to be their responsibilities. And I think we are going to have a really dynamic team to drive this club forward.
So from that statement that you had just mentioned, what does Amorim not necessarily have control over today? One is technical recruitment. He can outline and specify the types of players that he wants to get, but ultimately it is the responsibility of Wilcox to go and find them, or whoever it is, like Vivell, to go and find them and then try to recruit them. And Amorim doesn't have a way to say, no, I don't like this, or no, you need to go to get somebody else. And then number 2 on that one was around this medical component. We saw early in the season, I think like clockwork, Mount was getting substituted off every 60 minutes or something like that, because that was the amount that he was allowed to play. Never ever was he allowed to actually push those minutes, because they were afraid you push it, he gets those injuries happening again. So this is just important for us to recognize that these are the differences with which what the club sees as what is considered to be a head coach versus what is considered to be a manager. And Amorim is definitely asking for more influence, rightfully so, in my mind, on those areas.
So, Shaylin, let me understand this correctly. This is a club where Amorim is allowed to tell Sir Jim to fuck off, but he can't tell Wilcox what players he wants.
Yeah.
He can tell the owner to fuck off, but he can't tell Wilcox, these are the players I want.
But
that I want to bring this player on right now.
Let's be clear, though. There's only 6 clubs in the Prem right now that have managers. It's only Arsenal, Everton, Fulham, Man City, Newcastle, and Villa. All the other ones have head coaches. And this is the part that I think Amorim fucked up. He should have never signed that head coach.
Bingo.
That's his problem. We can complain,
Yeah.
we can argue. That was his problem. He shouldn't have signed that.
Nah, but like,
And, yeah.
I don't
But
think he ever
Well,
imagined that someone's going to
can I
tell him
just
how
say,
to play. Go ahead, Ernest.
Yeah, can I just say something? It's getting late here. It's almost past 3:30 in the morning. I need to go and sleep. I just wanted to say something around what Nelson said, which is true. He shouldn't have signed that, but probably the way they told Arteta, which we know this club is known of screwing managers over. And probably at the beginning they told him that you are going to be a head coach, but then you will transform into a manager. But then probably during the season they changed their mind. And also a question to the panel and a statement. Secondly, all successful clubs from the days of Ferguson, under Chelsea under Jose Mourinho, Man City under Pep, Klopp, every single manager that has succeeded in the Premier League and possibly any other where else, which manager has the club never backed and always tell the manager to always adapt? They never do that. They back you, give you the equipment, give you everything that you are meant to have, and then you go and do the job. Pep didn't adapt. When he came, he made what was it, like 25 changes or so before he won the league again with a league winning side 2 years before or something like that. He made changes, got the players he wanted to play, tiki-taka. Now he wants to play transition and all of these different. Now they are still giving him the players he wants. They did it for Arteta. Klopp, maybe you will say they didn't back him that much, but all of these things, it happened. So why is it that it's only us always we are talking about adapting? And then my question to the panel is, if you say Amorim is not the manager, right? Fine and good, he should go. Now the pundits, the Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, and all of the Paul Scholes that said Amorim doesn't know the DNA of Manchester United. Let them come out, lay a succession plan from formation to, because I don't see who the manager that succeeds in this type in a club like this, a club that you sign Dan Ashworth, you pay him to get him out of Newcastle. He went on garden leave. You brought him, you sacked him, paid him. You got a Ten Hag that you are going to sack, but then you let him go. Then 5 months later, you sack him. You got who succeeds there? My question is, firstly, who is the manager that will come into this club and succeed? And then lay out the succession plan. How is the manager going to succeed? What would it take for the manager to succeed? Since they know football, or since they know that Amorim is not the man and everything like that, I just want to know, what do you guys think is the best way to succeed? How is United going to succeed from manager, formation, and everything? What would it take us?
So let's look at City. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's look at City first. Pep Guardiola came from having one of the best Barcelona teams of all time, winning a lot of stuff. Went to City. What did it take him? Money. The team willing to spend. If Pep Guardiola came in today's United, he'd leave the job within a week.
Of course.
He would not be able to turn it around. And that's one of the best managers of all time. We're looking at the manager like he's the Messiah. He's not. The team, the infrastructure of the club needs to change. It needs to change at the highest level, which is the owners. That's the only thing that will turn the fortunes of this club. Because we're talking about Ineos this, Ineos that. Guess what? Glazers are still there. And the Glazers have been the problem this whole time. They're not bringing in the right players. Look at Pep. He bought Omar Marmoush last season. They're already selling him. Because they're bringing Semenyo in.
Actually, to build on that point, Ed, because that is a good point. To build on that point, I'm saying that basically sometimes maybe, and Sean, everybody here, I want you guys to kind of listen to what I'm about to say and then give me your feedback here if I'm on the right track. Doesn't it feel maybe like our recruitment department's too afraid to make mistakes? Maybe that could be the case.
100%.
Maybe it's
No.
that's why they're going after the highest XG, the biggest goal scorer in the Premier League. We're only going to go for Premier League proven. We're only going to go for Baleba or Elliot Anderson. Maybe they're afraid of making mistakes because they don't have like a how do we get out of this situation? Like they don't have the same City thing where it's like if it doesn't work out, I'll just sell them in a year.
That wouldn't apply to getting Sheshko. Sheshko is a big risk that you were never going to get instant impact. You were never going to get the 20-goal game striker that Amorim wanted Watkins. So that's a huge risk. So what I think is they were signaling, they were giving the eyes as though we've made some progress on the long-term project, but in the short term, we understand what pressing needs. Remember, during the preseason tour, with all the athletic guys in house, and they leaked it, Amorim with Wilcox was saying, hey, if this guy gets me my midfielder, we're going to be good, right? He explicitly said that. And that's where we heard about the Baleba links. So now you're telling me over half a year later, we're going to be questioning whether or not we still need that midfielder? And you think a formation change is going to mitigate all these circumstances while all of our boys are at AFCON? So this is, to me, just poor planning. It's not that they don't want to take a risk. They take risks in the wrong ways.
And one, I forgot to say this while I had the stage. Abhishek Tyagi came in with a super chat. Thank you so much, man. He says, and this is interesting also. He says it's a shit show for sure. If Ineos fires Ruben now, they will lose a lot of fans. My bet is on Wilcox to get fired. Maybe a long shot, but one can dream. I don't know. I think if it's down to Vivell or Amorim, Vivell, there's a good chance maybe that we get lucky and they file Vivell. But I think if it comes down to Wilcox or Amorim, I don't know what I really think Amorim's getting the sack.
I think they fire Wilcox if it's between those two. Barada and Sir Jim both like
and to be honest with Abhishek Tyagi, I don't think they're gonna lose that many fans because us fans are used to being mistreated, bro. Like we're abused.
Listen,
we're
we have half the Portuguese delegation as fans now that came in. Look at Alex.
Oh, that's
He's not
true.
Gonna be a fan anymore.
That's true. We're gonna lose a lot of Portuguese fans
because Amorim in Portugal is like highly rated.
Because he is.
Exactly.
He's a
and
high-rated
people will
manager.
follow Amorim, and Amorim has gained fans by coming to United, and they will follow him as well. Multiple people have said it in your chat. Multiple people have said it in Andy's chat. It's
but there's
inevitable.
one question. It's like the same that they did at Andy's live stream. Tell me one more coach that has the same like level of Amorim with his
Xabi
age.
Alonso.
Like you mean a fan
It's the
base?
only one. It's the only one.
No, there's only one. Yeah.
It's the only one. Like you don't have anyone like him. That's the main problem. People don't understand that. Like he's a prodigy on what he does. Like he's amazing. He's bloody amazing. You understand? Like if they change him right now, like this is not even half of what he wants to do. Like this is technically 25%. Do you understand like what you actually
I don't think people
throw
understand
away?
that because Alex is
to
speaking truth here, and
Ernest.
I've said this over and over again, guys. I know a lot of his patterns and routines. Not all of them. I'm not claiming to say I know all of them, but I know a lot of his patterns and routines, and I've made videos about them before he even joined. And like 3 or 4 of his like most dangerous patterns, we haven't even attempted to run. No, that's not true. We've attempted. We just didn't pull it off. But there are a couple that we've never even attempted to do yet as a routine or pattern because we can't even get like phase 1 conquered for us to even get to phase 2 and then finally phase 3 where we're like running everything on autopilot. We're not there because he doesn't have the players to do it.
Ernest just gifted you 5, and I know he wants to go to sleep. I think I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I need to go to bed. Thank you guys. It's always amazing. Footy with an Edge, Samix, you know, the channel. These are the channels that keep me sane because other channels just frustrate me. So thank you guys. I know you guys will have a great conversation. See you tomorrow. It's almost 4 o'clock. Yeah, I need to go to bed.
Have
See
a
you,
good
Ernest.
night,
Thank
Ernest.
you for always watching,
I'm
man.
going to
Thanks for the
bail as
support.
well because it's already
See you,
4 in the
Alex.
morning. It's too much. See you guys next time.
See
See
you
you,
guys.
Alex, man.
So,
Thanks
boys.
for coming on. Guys, I think can I just get with this panel of just 4 of us here? Can I get your ideas? Because I don't think you guys were here early. Nelson came in a little late too. Is someone getting sacked in the next 10 days? 2
They
weeks,
have to get
let's say.
sacked. I am in a for my business, I am in a board level position. When things happen internally between 2 people, one or both get sacked or get fired no matter what. Because you have to have some sort of a backbone to make sure everybody else sees this is not okay at this club.
Mhm.
So when the next person comes in, they know this is not okay and don't do this again. And is it Vivell or Wilcox that's done this before at other clubs?
Vivell at
Vivell.
Chelsea.
This is his 3rd time doing it, by the way. It's not his 2nd time. This is the 3rd time he's done something like this. And I think just like Garnacho was a problem. We've always had an issue with the players, right? Leaking stuff, talking. And now we have people in the back that are doing. He's Garnacho-esque in the way he's moving.
Bro, Ernest sent 5 gift memberships, man. Thank you so
Yeah, I
much,
told you
Ernest,
that.
man.
And so does Shaylin.
I didn't see it earlier.
Yeah, we thanked him for you.
Oh, thanks.
So somebody has to go. And they have a decision to make. And if they choose the wrong decision, we're set back another 2 years. And goodbye, XG. That's all I'm going to tell you.
But you're saying a decision will be made and someone will get sacked. You're just not saying who's getting sacked?
I think it will be the case that somebody does. I don't know if whether or not it'll be executed within that 10-day time frame.
Yeah, I
that you
don't think in
mentioned.
10 days. I agree.
Okay.
I think it'll take a little bit longer.
Before February 14th. I'll give it a little over a month.
I think
I don't
after
think
the
this can
transfer window
go on till
closes.
June, like if that's what you're thinking.
After the transfer window closes.
Yeah.
100%. But I don't know who it's going to be. That's going to be their decision. I know who I want it to be.
Yeah,
but
of
then,
course.
what I think is not always right. So I don't know.
I think what you said, Ed, was spot on. Like, it's clear how they had to. When you have issues of that level, when Vivell had a problem by the way, Vivell has done this twice. He had an issue at Chelsea when they decreased his powers, let's say, his authority. And he did this at Leipzig.
Yeah, so this
He's
is the
done
3rd
this-
time.
Yeah, now this would be the 3rd time.
Yep.
So, assuming our directors actually side with Amorim, because the argument could be if Amorim did go up and say, I want more authority over transfers, Vivell takes that as, I've seen this movie before. This is how I end up. And he goes this route. My concern is, let's be honest, it looks like it's either going to be Amorim or it could be both, but how Amorim has come out publicly, I think it's Amorim.
The reason, well, it's just a skepticism as to why Amorim might be safe in my mind, is because you have this level of, I'll say, a lack of trust that gets formulated. It's not necessarily just between the manager and then the director of football and the technical director and the CEO. You also have to consider the CEO also then has this lack of trust with that individual. The sporting director, they have a lack of trust with that individual. It doesn't necessarily inspire the greatest amount of confidence within that leadership team. So I almost think that it's going to be one person at that level, whether that's Vivell or it's Wilcox. We'll find out from who actually had leaked said messages. But that's why I don't think they'll sack Amorim as well. But if they do, we'll likely see one of those folks also leaving alongside him.
100%.
But here's the thing. If you're in a room with a guy and he just got out of prison for the 2nd time for stabbing somebody, there's a high likely chance he's going to stab you if you're in the room with him.
Yeah, this is why I said, like, he's going.
Yeah, so
like, they're
it's going to
get rid of
continue.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to continue. And what they did to him at Leipzig, he got humiliated.
Yeah, they absolutely torched him.
They put him they they crucified him and
Yeah.
said this is not what, and that's what needs to happen here. And this is gonna be the turning point for United, by the way, for all these years. This is where the turning point happens if they get rid of that rat.
You know, Samix and Nelson and Ed, I know we've said it so many times. January will be very telling with what
Yeah.
this ownership is going to be about. This is not the way that I had expected it. Like, there's going to be some dilemma on, you know, your executive recruitment team, but also like some dilemma with like the manager. And then on top of that, I thought it was just going to be, you know, are they going to invest and are they going to sign more than one player?
Can I just
Not
say
that-
that, like,
yeah.
they missed out on an opportunity here if they would have just let Amazon follow them around with cameras?
Oh, they knew. They knew that the amount of
Bro,
shit that we would see.
It would have been the best
Holy
reality
crap.
TV football show ever.
You
Like-
know what made me depressed about that when I was watching the Newcastle one? They're sitting in the boardroom and they tell the owner, "Oh, we can only spend 80 million." He's like, "What? Why? Why can't we only spend 80 million? We can't spend more?" I was like, I almost started crying. I was like, "Man, this guy just wants to win, right?" He didn't care. Here it's like, I don't want to spend it. He's already fifth. He could continue the job, right? Like it's just such a different night and day to the way the clubs are run, and I hope this is the turning point if they get rid of Vivell. Glazers are still going to be there. I still don't think you could fully become Man United of old with that ownership group, but I could
No.
be wrong.
You can't.
I will start to raise my hopes though if we get rid of Vivell, because you got to admit that's new for us. That would be a new turn of events for our board and our ownership to back the manager in that. If they back the manager in that way where they fire the new head of scouting, then you know that, oh, this summer is actually going to be good. Like this upcoming summer is going to be really good because they're going to back him the right way, even though they might not back him in January.
He's not the. I think he's just the director of recruitment, right? He's not necessarily
Yeah.
responsible for scouting, in particular.
But we're talking about the summer. You know, we could have a
Yeah.
good season. We could go into summer looking forward to Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Bro, I think I don't know, man.
That's
I
where we're
hope
at,
you're
though.
right and I'm wrong. I just don't see anything happening this
But,
January.
but that's the crossroads. It all depends on what fork in the road we decide to take. Do we want Tuesday and Wednesday football?
No, I think we'll get the Thursday football though. We'll get the Europa.
But that's like financially not as lucrative. And
Yeah.
if these guys are all about the money, then, you know, making a 50 million pound investment for a 120 million pound return, that's
Shailene-
easy math.
Semix, Shaylin has a fantastic video explaining like the finances of this club, and like if you assess, oh, it's on Andy's channel. Let me just specify that. And when you watch, we literally
Again,
have
I say to people like Shaylin and like Andy that you're using too much common sense.
This is why I said the assumption. If they're smart,
But
they
that's-
won't do
that's
this, right?
Why,
Like-
that's why I'm like, yeah, great, guys. You guys are using real math. Like that's not how this works.
but we need champs. Like we definitely need Champions League. For the
We're not acting like it.
no.
So that's what I mean. Like, what makes you think that they're using common sense?
Because we're only 4 days into January. That's the
And our
only reason.
manager
Yeah.
is saying, "Do your job," to the recruitment department.
Well, 4 days into January
Our
with a
manager's saying what I'm saying on live streams. That
Yeah.
shouldn't happen. I shouldn't. Me and the
Exactly.
manager shouldn't be saying the same
This
thing.
is how I know Amorim is a fan. Like, you know, is a fan. Like, right? He's just like, he's living our dream in a sense, right? He got a chance to manage the club that he actually like, a club that he likes and that he probably, you know, supports to a certain degree because of what he says. But
But he
there's
wants
so
to
much
win.
romanticism around this. I
I-
just hope
you-
they don't fuck it up. Oh my bad.
You know what? I think he loves I think he loves the players, and he wants to do everything he can do right by them. And he knows bringing them help will make them succeed as well. Because Bruno would love to get a Champions League. You know, given all his numbers and all the stats, he'd love to get a big trophy, something like that. He's one of us, and that's why I back him, because we can tell he's one of us. And if I was the manager, it would have been a lot worse for this club in that press conference because I wouldn't have left. I wouldn't have left.
He'd have answered every question.
Exactly. And I would have asked questions of said recruiting department and everything because I've already said what I had to say, I think, at this point, but Amorim in, Glinios out, get us Baleba. We'll compete in Champions League next year. We'll do watch-alongs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it's going to be magnificent. But that's a long shot, given the situation.
Guys, thank you very much. I do want to wrap this up. We're on our 3rd hour, and I just realized I haven't, I came home from work and hopped on this and haven't done anything. I haven't eaten my dinner. I've said hi to my girlfriend, but that's about it. So I need to go and get back to my life. Thank you so much for being here, Shaylin. Thanks for joining. Nelson, always a pleasure. And Ed, thanks for coming on. And me and Ed me, Ed, and Nelson have been calling this for a couple of days now. So Shaylin, welcome to the new world, I guess.
I had a crash out about this, did I not? Where I was, and I was sitting my desk. I actually broke my desk. Very nice desk, by the way. Made with real wood. So, yeah, that crash out, I've kind of leveled it out, but still, I'm feeling that way, seething.
Thank you, guys. I will see you tomorrow. I'm sure Andy will be on the stream. I'll be driving to Vegas tomorrow, so I won't hop on, but I will be there watching, listening, and everything else. I'll be with you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, we don't get any bad news tomorrow. That's my worst thought, is that I wake up tomorrow to some bad news. I don't think it'll happen that quickly, but I do think someone will be getting the sack. And if it happens tomorrow, would it be most likely the manager or Vivell? Actually,
No,
tomorrow might be
Vivell.
good because it might be Vivell if it's tomorrow.
Yeah. If it's tomorrow, if it's any news, it's Vivell.
Yeah, right? So if it happens tomorrow, it'll be Vivell. So hopefully we do get some news tomorrow.